in the winter. We're going to go all the way to spring.
Is that what we're going to do? All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to this Thursday evening's edition of the Live Well Hit Fish North Georgia. We are definitely glad you guys are taking the time to watch us tonight. Again, if you're watching our later date, we appreciate you too. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. You really have no idea how much that affects us in a positive way. And of course, follow us on all our social media. We got a great show for you guys tonight. Got a great guest, couple of guests. We got a gallery full of people, but we're going to take care of some business first. The Live Well is brought to you by Opson Fluoro. Leader line right there. You see it in the comments. Guys, if you go to their website and type in FNG, you get 20% off. And again, you've heard me talk about them for a few weeks. Hey, they're coming in from the West Coast. They're going to make a big splash right here in our Highland reservoirs. We all use fluorocarbon line. They have got a premier fluorocarbon line that you guys have got to try out. I'm working on getting in the store, but right now you can go to opsonusa.com and type in FNG and get 20% off. I'm telling you, we've got a little bit. You can see it kind of right here. I'm working on getting us some 8, 10, and 12 for us right here, but it is absolutely some fantastic fluoro, and you guys know how important that is. And also, we want to thank, so who we got next? It's Charlie Adams, right? Yeah, Charlie Adams, Adams Innovations, 470-505-3412. Anything but spiral staircases. So, guys, if you've got any construction work, any remodel you need to be done, they do pole barns, they do a little bit of everything. Hey, definitely give them a call. And our next sponsor is Festive Water Paddle Sports off of 369. Go to www.festivewater.com. Whether you're fishing or enjoying a kayak, joy riding, I guess that's what them guys do. We like to fish, but also paddle boards, anything like that. You definitely want to check them guys out. We appreciate that. If you want the absolute best install for your sonar, hey, go where the pros go. And that's Sonar Pros. Trent Palmer over there, 770-530-4505. By appointment only. Okay, that's how good he is. All right, I'm serious. The pros take their boats to him. If you want it done right, take it to Trent right there. And also, too, Turner Tire right here in Jasper, guys, a local family-run business. If you need new tires or work done on your car, hey, listen, you want to take it to Brock and the guys over there. Again, thank you for their support, and Brock fishes just like the rest of us. Give them a call at 706-253-3339. And finally, as always, my favorite right here, Etowah Mead Beer and Wine. You see the selection kind of right here in front of me. Everybody thinks I'm drinking these all night, and I'm not. But tonight we are trying out the Sweet Hot Fuzz. Okay, Sal is dying over the title of this, Sweet Hot Fuzz. It is Georgia peaches and habanero. Okay, so it's a little interesting. It's different, but all your selections at Etowah are great. And again, I'm telling you about this mead. It's one of the few things you can order online. So if you're in Dahlonega, Georgia, go check out the guys at Etowah Meadery. Tell them we sent you. But if not, get online and order you some Sweet Hot Fuzz. What do you think about that, Sal?
Man, I'm just looking at what James Richardson put up there. My club members, they're just so supportive, but it's just a funny story, and we may have to wait for the off-air version of it.
Okay. Well, you never know. We have enough of this sweet hot fuzz. We might be talking about it in about an hour.
I'm not sure what Dane is talking about.
Well, we'll figure it all out. Dane's different. So anyway, guys, listen, here's what we're going to talk about tonight. And again, listen, I want to thank all of our sponsors. And if you're interested in sponsoring the Live Well, hey, hit me up, either on Facebook or through the comment sections. We would love to promote your business and enjoy it while we're here. I'm going to be fishing with this Opson line. And I know Josh gets his tires from Jack, from Brock and the guys over there at Turner Tire. So we like to support the businesses that support us. So you guys do that as well. Now, of course, in the comment section, you guys are going to run the show. You know how it works here on the Live Well. We've got a great plan of attack tonight. But the reality is it really goes where the comment section goes. And I'm going to introduce my guest. I got Mr. Sal Pinto, the hottest man in bass fishing now in the state of Georgia. The man with the golden horseshoe.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah,
that's
more like Sal's it. Here. And then, of course, I made Jonathan Farmer over here. Look at Mr. Happy over there. He was here. But we actually have some guys in the gallery again. And we're going to figure out a camera so we can start scanning them guys over there. But, again, we want to thank Kevin Thornton, who surprised us. Oh, my gosh, we forgot that shrimp up there in front of that heater. You going to go get that shrimp? Kevin brought us some Publix chicken, again, and some shrimp. And so we're going to do that. Now, listen, also, too, about halfway through the show, we're going to have another Opson question of the week. And Kevin is laughing his butt off because if you remember last week, it took us about 10 minutes, it seemed like, to get the answer. And I told Kevin he was never going to do the question of the week again. But we came on air and I said, oh my goodness, I forgot the question of the week. So he is over there
Looks like
writing it down
in a notebook.
and he's laughing. So it's going to be another tough one. But again, listen, hey, about halfway through the show, if you want to get $50 off at OpsonUSA.com to get you and try some of this awesome fluoro, answer the question of the week. And right now I have no idea what it is, but we will get to that. So anyway, got Tim McGuire. Put that camera on you there, Smiley, back there running the board. Ryan's at home with the flu. You bringing that shrimp over here on? Look at there. Look at that. We got a big platter of shrimp. They defrosted yet? So anyway, you got to eat some of that shrimp, Jonathan. You ain't allergic to shrimp, are you?
No, I eat shrimp all the time.
Well, good. We got a whole platter we got to get rid of. So anyway, guys, listen. Hey, this is the last episode of 2023. And it's been another hell of a year here at the Live Well, and it's all because of you guys in the comment section. So to everyone that has entered in the chat tonight, thank you very much for being here. We're going to throw out a softball question to Sal real quick and just kind of get it started. But the topics tonight are going to be what I'd like to, we're going to do 2024 resolutions eventually. Okay. We'll do that. We'll say a bunch of stuff that we have no plan on keeping, but we're going to try to do it anyway. And listen at you dinging down here. But we're going to talk about winter. I want to talk about winter fishing. And I had somebody mention about adapting to like changes. So like this weekend we're coming up. We've had had a lot of rain, kind of a mild week. But now possibly Friday night, we got a little clipper system or something coming in. Might get some snow, a lot of wind. And guys have been planning all week to go fishing on a Saturday, thinking it'd be okay. Now we're going to have some weather we got to deal with. So my first question to you, Sal, is how do you approach weather changes when you're going to fish, whether it be fun fishing or in a tournament?
Well, first of all, it starts with dressing the right way.
It does. Absolutely.
Okay. If you don't go out there prepared for that kind of stuff, you're just going to be lost. It's going to affect your mind. You're going to be cold. You're not going to be focusing on the fishing. So you got to dress right.
That's right.
So, but as far as the fishing aspect of it, man, I don't even know how to explain this, but I'm sitting here with Jonathan Farmer across from me. That dude knows more about fishing.
Oh, shut up.
I'm serious. I am dead serious. He does, because I just fish. I fish with the gut. Remember 2 years ago?
Well,
what my resolutions was? And that's one of the things that I'm still working on.
Was you here on a resolution show?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I contacted you. I figured we're making it, an anniversary type deal.
Listen,
2 years ago.
Dude, I'm old and I forgot.
Yeah.
But we did do that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Did you keep your resolutions that year?
Absolutely.
Okay. What were they? Do you remember?
One is follow my gut, work on my faith.
I remember that. No, I remember
being
that.
a better pop.
And you're all three of those.
I'm doing my darndest to be all three of those.
That is awesome. Now, I do remember now that you said that.
Yeah.
I remember that. So that's pretty good. Hey, listen, too, while he's talking, guys, if you got any questions about any of the subjects, make sure you put them right there in the comment section. And if for some reason you have a question that I don't read, put it again, because they go so fast that sometimes we can't keep up, because you guys are awesome. So, anyway, me, Sal, who was it? Dane Hunter. Me, Sal, and you, Danny, 2 years ago. Well, there you go.
Yep.
So you can tell I didn't keep my resolution. So anyway, they need some backwaters on that table. I have no idea what backwaters are. What are backwaters? Do you know? Hey, I'll take it. If we got backwaters, whatever, bring it on.
Oh, no, backwaters is a gentleman in my club that actually just got hooked up with Atlanta Beverage Company, making a pecan whiskey. I think it's pecan. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But he brought a bottle to Hartwell for everybody to share. So that's what that is. That's the name of his label. Okay, well, I tell you what, since how Etowah Mead Beer and Wine does not do whiskey, bring it on right there. But I got to keep it to these guys right here. No, but I'm not opposed to trying anything, but we can. Backwaters is a different little segment of that industry. So absolutely, we'll try it out and we'll give you a good review on that. So, okay, so being warm,
Okay, that's obvious.
Mhm.
That's obvious. What's your next step? Because let's just take Lake Lanier.
Mhm.
But you fish a lot of lakes, and Jonathan, you do too. So we're not stuck on Lake Lanier on this episode.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
Okay, because all we talk about is Lake Lanier, and I love it. It's an awesome lake, but there's so many other lakes to fish in Georgia.
It's insane.
So and James Collins was on. You got my question? You bring me there my question. Thank you, sir. Kevin Thornton, the best looking man on.
Was it 4 parts this time?
Has to do with FLW. Okay, so there you go, guys. Good Lord. All right, so listen, the question of the week is going to be an FLW related question, and it is a 2-parter this time, so maybe it won't take as long, but oh my God. Kevin, why you do listen, Kevin, why you do this to me? Why you do this to me? But you guys fish a lot of lakes. I know James Collins was only talked about your club. He fished Lost Mountain Bass Masters.
Yep.
And you guys fish. I didn't realize you fished so many different lakes. And Jonathan, you with the ABA, you're all over the place as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with you, Sal, and then we'll kick over to Jonathan. Pick any lake you want. I don't really care, but you got a drastic weather change. Now you said, hey, the way you dress, obvious. What about your planning as far as your plan of attack and how you're approaching the lake? Does it change, or do you go in with the same idea? Like, spots are going to be at 30 feet, and that's what I'm going to do.
Nah, you got to evolve with the conditions, in my opinion.
Okay.
If it's windy, I'm going to throw something a little bit more, I'm going to power fish a little bit more. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If it's, if it just, the pressure is high, bluebird skies,
those suck, dude.
Jonathan and I were just talking about it, fishing those, first and second days after a front comes through where you have that drastic temperature change that we're going to have on Saturday on Chattooga. It's just not fun, but I feel confident that my finesse techniques and me slowing down and what I do, it's going to catch something, whether it's going to be the ones I need or not. We'll find out, but I slow down.
Slow down.
I slow way down.
So,
but if it starts off windy, again, if it's windy, I'm going to try those moving baits first, but there was 3 weekends in a row, and I'm sorry, I'm going to bring up Lanier.
Go ahead. No, you
had
can.
Fronts come through.
Yeah.
And we had a ton of rain. A ton of wind. And, the cast company OG was just hammering them. You were catching them during the week, but you think those windy days that OG would still work, and you couldn't catch a cold out there, and this was, end of fall, like mid to end of fall.
Yeah.
When that bite got on, but it just, you just got to go with the conditions. Sometimes that wind will fool you.
Throw a pink bubblegum super fluke. Tyler, are you drinking already tonight? Anybody throw a pink bubblegum super fluke in the fall when drastic weather changes? Do you? Huh? Come on.
Nah.
No. Okay. All right, Jonathan. What about you? Drastic weather. So I guess you're going to fish. Where are you fishing this weekend?
We're fishing Chattooga this
And
weekend.
you're fishing Chattooga?
He's going to be with us.
Yeah.
You fish ABA?
That's why I fished the ABA. Well, I used to do the opens, but I like the whole idea of not having to travel out, to Seminole, even though they changed the opens now, but you had to go to Seminole once a year. And I got to go with Brett Matthews last year, and he knows that lake.
He's a good dude.
I love Brett.
Yeah.
And then Oconee and Sinclair.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Well, good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Sal's coming to take our money.
So now he's not going to give us any juice now because he's fishing against you.
No, I give him all the juice. He won't.
You helped him out a little bit.
I'll help anybody else that asks.
Is that what it is? Well, how do you fish a drastic weather change?
Like him. If I've got a lot of wind, I'll fish the prevailing wind side where it's churn the water up, pushed all the plankton, the bait over to that side. I'll fish more towards it. And in the wintertime, I like to fish southern facing pockets a lot too.
Okay.
Sun hits southern facing pockets throughout the day the most, and you're going to have the warmest water temp in the wintertime in those pockets.
That makes sense.
If I've got a drastic weather change and I know my water temp's going to drop, that's where it's not going to drop the most.
So you're looking for the least drop in the water.
Or dirty water.
Tell me a little bit about your recent warming purchase.
I've turned into a little bit of a wuss. I can't handle the cold.
Right.
anymore.
Because you're getting old.
Yeah. I bought one of the heated jacket. Me and Dane both bought a heated jacket.
So you and Dane both. It wasn't just you.
Yeah.
You and Dane,
Dane
both.
both bought a heated jacket.
You got a heated jacket.
Yeah, for this upcoming weekend and
Oh my!
the other weekends. I decided I was not going to freeze to death up in Hiawassee, Georgia, just because it's usually about 6 to 7 degrees colder than it is what it is here.
So
Hey, wait
you
a
both
minute.
have turned
Are they
into man
matching
colors.
colors?
Hmm?
Jonathan?
You turned it. Yeah,
I
do they
don't know.
match?
Do they
That's
match?
right.
I just
You
want
got
to know. I
matching
can't help
colors.
it. I've got to ask. Do they match?
I hope not.
I
Is
hope
either one
not
of them
either.
pink? I just want to know. Are you and Dane fishing together?
No, not this time.
Okay, I just wonder if y'all gonna be matching. You probably got the same underwear and everything on, don't you? Y'all got matching thongs.
Huh?
You
No.
and Dane wear matching thongs.
No, I can't wear one. My butt's too big.
That just makes it easier. You ever
No.
seen a big girl with a thong on? That thing just gone like that. So anyway, what you
There
laughing
it
at, Sal?
is.
There it
The
is.
rabbit hole.
The rabbit hole.
It's more like a gopher hole.
Like a
We
gopher
didn't
hole.
make it 10 minutes.
How far did we go before we went down a rabbit hole? It's 16 minutes in.
16. I'm a correction. We made it.
We made it
out past
16
the
minutes.
15
Well
mark.
done. Well done.
Well done. So, yeah. So if we want to go down a rabbit hole, I'm gonna throw it out there. So,
All right.
how's the yum yum been lately?
You know, I've never tried yum yum.
We're gonna get you to try yum yum one of these days.
Okay.
Jonathan, you too. How's your yum yum been?
It's not been very good.
So for those of you that want to know what yum yum is, that's going to be in one of our after hours show that we'll talk about. I'm definitely not going to throw that out there. I might lose every single sponsor I got, but apparently next time you see Jonathan or you see Sal, tell them they need to do the yum yum. It is life-changing experience, big dog. Ain't that right, Kevin?
For whom?
Kevin Thornton is pro yum yum. So been there and done that. James Collins, the damn yum yum.
They're pro something, but
We're pro something.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Stephen Bardet wants to let you know the Hangover Classic on Allatoona is out of Galt's on Monday. So if you guys want to go there and catch your 11 pounds of fish, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You actually had a pretty impressive bag on Allatoona lately.
Yeah, 1625.
16, so it's coming up.
16.25.
It is coming up. And
Dude, I was shocked. I had 2 PBs in one day. I mean, you know, I had one over 4 and then one that was almost 5, a spotted bass,
almost a 5-pound spot.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
there's a few of them out there.
4
Now,
3/4.
do you see that lake really being on the upswing?
You know,
Because listen,
Yes,
we're all
I do.
Yeah, but we're all like, okay, bluebacks. It's not going to be linear. I don't care what anybody says.
no, I don't think it'll ever be linear.
but it will be better.
It definitely is getting better.
16-pound bag is nothing to shy away from on Allatoona.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Are you really shocked?
I really am. I've fished Altoona a lot, and it's not just since I moved back down to Georgia. It was prior to, you know, living here in Georgia, and that was the closest lake. And I was lucky to catch a keeper, you know, but again, just starting out, you know, like a couple years of bass fishing, you know, and I
Yeah.
had no idea what I was doing. I was just throwing a Texas rig. I didn't know how to
How
do
long
anything
ago
else.
was this?
2000, no, late 1990s.
Okay,
early
so you've been
2000s.
fishing a while. So it ain't like you started 3 years ago. Or
I
when
mean-
did you start tournament fishing?
8 years ago.
Okay, so you've done quite well in 8 years.
8
You're up
years
there. Your
ago,
name
yep.
is well known.
I don't know. Well, thank
Why
you.
do you guys sell yourself short?
Because I am
You're
young to the-
humble.
I know, but I am young to this whole game or whatever you want to call it, man. I just love to fish. That's why I fish more from the gut, because I just love to fish.
Yeah.
You know, and if I can just keep that feeling, I fish so much better in tournaments.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
get it.
and I feel like that's was one of the most important things that I took out of the Hartwell thing.
Yeah.
Is like, you know, I just
And what was that tournament again?
that was the
Georgia Bass
the
Nation?
Georgia Bass Nation State Classic.
and you won it.
Yeah, I did.
What do you mean? Yeah, I did.
I just,
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I don't want.
I'm surrounded by two good
I want
anglers
people
right
to
here.
understand that I am a humble guy, and I am absolutely shocked that happened, because there's so much. The Jonathan, you know, okay, that is not an easy tournament to win,
No.
and there's guys that have been trying it for 20, 30 years to win that tournament. They put the time in. I'm just starting off in this stuff. I've been fishing all my life, but bass fishing is a whole different animal.
I get you. Don't sell yourself short.
All
This
right.
boy right here does it too. He's a hell of an angler.
Yeah, he is.
He's always like, oh, bull. So
Well,
like,
you said you're surrounded by two good anglers. You're surrounded by a winner and the first loser.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you two guys consistently. I mean, what was it, Tim? Last week, put the camera on you, Tim. They're beautiful back there. Who did you pick if you had one angler? And I know I put you on the spot. And you didn't
You
have
did.
a lot of time to think about it, but
And in dire straits, I yelled Jonathan Farmer.
that's what you said. Like if
Yep.
your life depended on it, he picked you.
Yeah.
No
Sure
pressure right there.
Watch me go and get like 30th place on Chateau.
It does not matter.
I
It
guess our
does not
friendship
matter.
will end at that point.
Honestly, you know that's not going to happen.
But-
you know in your gut. You're too good to know in your gut. You're
So
coming in
that's-
30,
but
especially
you know
when there's
what?
only going to be 29 of us there.
Listen, it's okay. Yeah, you're gonna finish 30th out of 29 boats. Here's the thing, though, and this is why I like having Jonathan on with us. I like him to come short, and I love when you come on because you guys are humble. But you guys are hell of an anglers. Y'all both are
Oh,
good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're good.
Danny.
You're
I
good.
really
And Jonathan needs. I got to work on his confidence. Over there, like, I can't catch fish.
That
But
was
you
that was a couple years ago when I was on a struggle bus, like a few other people are on right now. I've gotten off that struggle bus.
Well, I'm glad though, because I like that's you don't have to be obnoxious about being good, but you guys are good.
Well, you know,
I mean,
There's
listen,
so much
Linda
information
Beaver's
out
letting you
there.
put her name on your shirt.
yeah.
Is she here to wow you? Does she really
really
wow
you
you?
know something? They
I
always
love
wow
that.
me.
Listen, I love that commercial. We're here to wow you.
Yeah, I actually did a commercial with her one time. I was just walking around the cars with a random person that I'd never met before, and we were just like, shaking
You-
our heads, like
You were in
looking
the
up
commercial.
from a drone. You can't tell what anybody's doing, but we're having a conversation, a fake conversation about that car that's sitting in front of us. It was hilarious.
Okay, but she's not going to put her name on somebody's shirt that doesn't
Well.
represent the people well, and you do a good job with
Well,
that.
thank you.
Enough for the smoke up your ass. We're going to talk fishing in a second, but you
Please
do
do.
good. Listen,
Please
you do
do.
good though.
Yeah.
So I
they take good care of me.
they do.
And
So from now on, neither one of you guys can say, "Well, I'm okay." You're good anglers.
thank
We're
you.
establishing it
All
right.
right.
now. Jonathan, is that good with you?
Good with me.
You're
All
good. Okay.
If
so
you want the juice, ask Jonathan.
Oh,
you
shut
want
up.
gut moves? Ask me.
gut
I'm ready.
moves. So yeah, like that. So okay. So let's take this weekend. So water temps right now on, and we'll go with Lanier because I don't know the other lakes. I've been hearing reports of lower 50s, 52, 53.
Yep.
Last week, Ryan said the ditch bite really hasn't kicked in. I know there are guys catching fish in ditches, and there's some good ones to be had. Now, you guys are fishing Chattooga. It's a lake that we don't talk near enough about.
Great lake.
Extremely good.
Extremely great lake.
Yeah.
Are the things that work on Lanier going to play in on Chattooga? It's a very similar kind of lake in certain aspects, right, Jonathan?
Yes. Chattooga fish is very similar to Lanier with a few differences. They don't pile in the ditches as good as
Right.
they do on Lanier. You don't have the timber bite on Chattooga because there's not that much standing timber.
Okay.
It's one of those lakes where they went through and they just cut everything down.
Gotcha.
Like Blue Ridge, like Notley,
Uh-huh.
those lakes up there, those TVA lakes, they cut everything down.
Right.
You are on Winter Pool now on Chattooga. It's down about 7 foot.
They do
So-
lower that lake.
They,
Yes.
Every TVA lake in the Georgia side it comes down. They for flood control.
Okay.
They
all right.
usually do that right after Labor Day or a couple
They
weeks
start
out-
drawing
yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
Most of your lakes have come up anywhere from a half a foot to 3/4 of a foot
because of the
after
rain.
this rain we've
Nice.
had. So I do see that there may be a few fish push shallow, going back to see if they can find anything to eat.
Got
where
bluebacks.
the waters come back. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Got bluebacks. Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the whole strain of those three lakes have got bluebacks. Chattooga, Notley, and Blue Ridge have
Okay.
bluebacks.
All right. I find it interesting. I talk to guys out of state quite a bit that actually watch the show, and they watch it because we're one of the few podcasts that cover blueback herring lakes, and they don't have a lot. I mean, it's not a very Georgia. It's a big thing. North Georgia bluebacks are big. There are some lakes like I guess Logan, or no, what's the lake? What's the lake in Alabama? Is it Smith? Or there's a lake out in Alabama that's got some of them northern lakes.
I think it's Smith.
Is it Smith that's got some
That's a
bluebacks
deep
in
lake.
it?
I think it's Smith.
Okay, so Smith has got them. I know there's a couple of guys that watch from Virginia. They got
Well,
a few
you
lakes.
just go a couple hours south to Oconee and Sinclair, and there's not a There's no bluebacks in those lakes.
Now,
It's all gizzard and threadfin.
well, that's the predominant ones. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Smith Lake, Clint Bartlett fishing. So yeah, absolutely. So I know I talked to the Alabama Bass Council guys over there, and Slick Johnson. I don't know if you follow them on TikTok. If you don't, you should follow them on TikTok. They're pretty funny. But he talks about they kind of watch
Anybody
us.
with the name Slick Johnson?
Listen, Slick.
I
Hey.
mean, listen, they've got to be a little entertaining.
Slick is very entertaining, and he is the most opinionated person I've ever met when it comes to professional fishing. I mean, he's got the opinion. So
Okay.
if you're on TikTok, look up Slick Johnson, give him a follow, and in the comments say the guys at Fish North Georgia said to follow you like that. So Smith and Martin have blueback. Brian Belcher says right there. So, go. Okay, so we talked last week about the ditch bite on Lanier, and that really the bluebacks aren't quite in there yet. Now, I saw a comment where Dane said Brett Matthews said that the water temp was about 49 on Chattooga today, which makes it a little bit of sense since it's a little cooler or a little farther north.
67 degrees cooler up there.
Yeah.
He told me he's
DNR regulates Chattooga herring by stocking hybrids. Very interesting. Okay, so that's that. Alan said, my cousin Alan said Lanier temps were around 50 to 52 on the south end of Lanier. So we're getting close to that ditch bite. So let me ask this. How much, now you just kind of mentioned you think some will be up shallow, but how much does the ditch bite play on Chattooga? And are you even going to target the ditches?
My experience on Chattooga has really been towards, the end of August, September, and October. And, and then it started, with the State Classic being up there the year after the AOI or AOY or the elites or Bassmasters when they had it up there. So I don't have any experience on Chattooga this time of year.
Okay, so you're going into it kind of blind.
I'm going in it.
So
no
you're gonna have
practice and
you're gonna have
blind.
to go follow your gut
Yes, sir.
on this. What's your gut telling you?
And my gut tells me I like fishing rock this time of year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go find me some rock. I know where there's some rock. I'm going to find some deeper rock. I'm going to find rock that's more on a transition, whether it's, a sharp drop or off the tip of points. Jonathan Farmer and I were talking about this. So when you were talking to me upstairs, I was like, so I'm comfortable with what we said. But that's what I'm going to target.
All right, what about you, Jonathan?
I'm
Same thing since y'all talking about it. Silver sharing.
I'm a big channel swing guy. Love channel swings in the wintertime because fish can move shallow and deep to feed in a hurry on channel swings. I'll be hitting them. I'll be hitting a lot of first thing in the morning. If I can find dirty water in them south facing banks with the sun comes up first, I'll be in there with a crankbait to see if I can pick off a big lip real quick early in the morning. But other than that, it's going to be point and hump hopping. They don't load in the ditches like they do on Lanier and Chattooga. The breaks,
What's up, Nathan?
they do load on the breaks. Going from the ditch to where it comes up, they'll sit right there.
How
on
big
that break.
Chattooga?
It's not very big.
Not very big at all. And in a bass
You can
boat,
you can run from one creek arm to all the way up the river in like 15-20 minutes.
Okay, so not very big at all.
no, it's not big.
So
at
it's not
all.
the monster Lanier is.
Yeah.
Or
Very
Hartwell.
intimate.
Or Hartwell.
Yeah.
Hartwell's the monster.
Holy cow! It took me 20 minutes just to get out of Tugaloo. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's I love Chattooga. I've just got no experience this time of year, but I have a clue. I mean, everybody on Facebook knows what I throw this time of year.
It's that daggum. Are you throwing that Picasso little spotty? Listen, you and Barday.
It catches
I'm telling
fish.
you, man.
You and Barday.
I don't know what it
catches
is about that jig. And of course-
Picasso little spotty.
Yep.
That's all I hear.
Yep.
That's
It's
all
all
right.
right.
Yep.
All I throw is the True Grit. Jig.
Listen,
There you go. Well done.
Listen, but it's a good bait. It is a good bait. Picasso makes a good bait.
It is an unbelievable bait.
Yeah.
Honest to goodness. Like
I at least like the fact that you,
365.
you push it, but you also throw it.
100%.
Yeah.
It's on my deck 100% of the time. Ask Ryan Sheffield. They'll tell you what the
Yeah.
little spot he did in the
What's
front
up,
of his
Casey
boat.
Blanton, Wayne Mitchell? So then that's the thing, though, is that we know guys, and I ain't saying names. I will never, but I know they say one thing. but I know they throw another.
Yeah.
I generally like if a guy is going to be sponsored by a company and he's pushing their baits, I like it when he fishes them.
Green pumpkin amber. That's my color. 100% all the time.
That is also one of the best color Yamamoto Senkos.
Now,
out
see,
there.
that's the information I want you to keep
Wrong.
quiet.
No, bro. Listen, guys, y'all know I don't listen. I do not make my money or pay my mortgage by winning tournaments. I will tell because I want them to come buy them. But that green pumpkin amber is a hell of a color in anything.
It's a tremendous color.
It is.
926.
It's
So,
It's
a damn
stupid.
good color.
It really is.
all right, so this is a perfect time. If True Grip made a tungsten finesse jig, if I can get tungsten heads, the problem is they come out of China, and I can't control the hook they put in them.
Well, this is the
Oh, I would order them. I'd sell them. I mean, I would. I have an Alibaba account. Trust me, I got that all the time, and they send me tungsten heads and all that. But I don't like the hooks, and I don't want to put my name on something where the hook's going to break.
So, well, all right. So this is why hooks break. This is exactly why I like the Picassos.
Right?
All right. So first of all, if you throw a little spotty on a bait caster,
James Collins, my bad, dog. My bad.
when you throw the little spotty on a bait caster with 20-pound fluorocarbon, you're going to break the hook.
Yeah.
Okay. You're throwing a finesse jig.
Well, I can't throw it.
Well, I mean, honestly, it is a finesse jig.
I actually throw the little spotty, and I like them,
Okay.
but I throw them on a medium
Can
heavy
y'all like
spinning
keep this
rod.
conversation going for
yeah,
5
medium,
minutes?
yeah, I do as well.
Mhm.
Medium heavy spinning
I'm
rod.
gonna go pee.
Yeah.
Y'all keep talking.
Okay. So that's the first thing about the little spotty. What the hell was I gonna say? Can I say hell on okay, thank you.
They got on to me for dropping the F-bomb one time, so
All right. So, but again, seriously, what were we talking about besides the little spotty
you were saying you can't throw it on a bait caster
on a
with
bait
20
cast? You're gonna break the hook. So you got to throw it on a spinning rod or a sissy stick, whatever you want to call it.
fairy wand.
12 pound to maybe 14 pounds. Okay. So, it's just one of those things that having that tungsten head. Oh, that's what we're going to talk about. Tungsten. Why hooks break when you're throwing a tungsten jig.
I'd say it's because you got to get the heat up so high to melt tungsten that it makes the steel
Absolutely.
weaker on the hook.
Absolutely. Now, again, little spotty is a finesse jig. So you get it hung up, 2 heavy pound test, it will break. Kitech football jigs. People
Mhm.
break hooks all the time with those because exactly what Jonathan said, where it makes that hook brittle because of the melting temperature. Picasso, when they make their jigs, they have a pre-molded head. So they don't use heat to, and mold that head around their hook. They actually use, I don't know what they use to get the hook inside the head, but the heads are all pre-molded before they even get them and put them together.
Right.
So their hooks don't break at the head. The hook, if you use too heavy of a fluorocarbon, it'll break at the bend because it just can't handle 20-pound fluorocarbon. It's a finesse jig.
Yeah.
Use it for what it's intended for.
I got you.
They're not making their hooks brittle and they
Yeah.
don't break where Kitechs will break. So you're worried about that kind of thing and melting tungsten. Find you a
Well,
way to
tungsten
get it
tungsten
pre-molded
melts
head.
so
Picasso's
hot.
hooks are a bigger gauge than Kitech's too.
Yeah.
Kitech's is a lot thinner gauge. I mean, you're throwing a half-ounce tungsten
That's right, Ronnie Anderson. I was going
jig
to say.
head, but it's got a one-aught finesse hook in it.
Yep.
You're gonna bend it out, throwing it on a medium heavy spinning rod.
That's
Yeah.
right there. That's one of our buddies from Virginia right there. Tungsten heads aren't poured, they're pressed.
Okay.
Tungsten is a totally different animal than lead. You're not pouring lead down here, and it's totally different. So there was a question. Ron Swinford wants to know, what weight are you throwing on your spinning rod?
I like 1/4 ounce, but I'm going to go lighter than before I go heavier. I think because I fish so much rock and so much jagged rock, I feel like anything heavier than 1/4 is going to get into those cracks and crevices a little bit more, and I'm going to get hung up more because I'm using 12-pound fluorocarbon or 14. So that's why I throw it or throw a quarter ounce, even in 50, the 50-foot ditches in the standing timber. That's what I do.
Check out that comment. I'm throwing a 3/8 little spotty on a bait caster with 14-pound line, but still have not caught anything on it.
Okay. How are you fishing it?
Ron's a pretty good guy, pretty good angler. He's a Lake Weiss guy. He fishes Allatoona a good bit. So
He's a wise guy?
Lake Weiss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wise guy. Yeah. Listen, we had an angler come. Actually, Charlie Adams, one of our sponsors, him and his wife fished the ABA. Boom, boom, boom. Listen, no highbrow humor here, man. It's been a long damn day.
Weiss is the graveyard of units.
So listen, so Charlie Adams and his wife fished the ABA couples tournament, I think, over there. And his wife come in the store and he was in there talking to Ryan. And I just looked at her and I said, so how was Lake Weiss? I can't even repeat how she described Lake Weiss. So she did not like that lake at all.
I've never met her, and I could promise you I have the same kind of words for that.
Oh, bless her heart. I mean,
stand it.
He's fishing it a lot on rocky spots on tuna. That's where he's fishing that little spotty. So how should we fish it, Sal? Charles Ellington wants to know.
Drag it slow.
Are we pulled? Now listen. All right, there's slow and there's Bill Payne slow.
Not Bill Payne slow, I'm assuming.
Well, Bill Payne says if you're fishing slow, slow down. So faster than that?
Slightly.
I've heard Bill's a very slow angler.
Yeah,
not slow as in knowledge and nothing like that. Listen, that's not what I meant. Listen, no. Bill Payne's one of the best anglers in the state of Georgia. So don't nobody be going and tell him Danny Pruitt on the podcast last night said you were slow. That is not what I meant. His technique is slow.
Yeah.
He likes with shaky heads and stuff.
I think they meant this.
I don't move it at all.
There you go. Right there, very slow. I don't want somebody. I'm gonna get a phone call. Bill's gonna call Danny. Was you talking? No, I was not. So I respect that, man. What trailer are you using? Charles Ellington again wants to know.
I know.
Okay. Well, either one. You can
so
answer that.
there's two that I'll use,
Okay.
and I just like the way they look to my eye. But I'll use the X-Zone Muscleback Craw, right? And then also the Yamamoto 4-inch twin tail. And I don't like a bait. I don't like a trailer that does much this time of year. I just don't. I mean, this is common knowledge, right, Jonathan? Do you agree?
I just read this. I just read your question.
You're giving away the answer,
dude. I just read it.
Did he write a novel again? How many parts is this?
I'm listening to all this good conversation. And I look down at the question of the week, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Okay, I'm sorry. You asked me. Yeah, I know. This will be the last time. I said that last week. My Lord.
One trailer that I found that works on the little spotty really well is the Demiki Air Crawl. The Demiki Air Crawl.
Okay.
It's got air pockets in the crawls.
Okay.
What's
and
that
it's
do?
a no action bait.
Perfect.
So when it hits the bottom, it makes them spread out like this, and then they float back up like it's in the defensive posture.
Well, that's a nice.
Do that again. That was kind of sexy.
Wait a second. Sorry, I should listen to the whole yum.
Y'all stay tuned. That'll be one of the little shorts that gets out.
That's right. That's going to be a sound bite for a lot of things.
X-Zone Craws float, which is one of the reasons
I like the X-Zone Craws, but they have a little bit of movement to them as they fall.
Yeah.
So does the 4-inch double tail.
Yep.
When they're wanting no action at all, and you're that. Because the little spotty's just a little too small for like the chunk or something like that from Zoom.
Yep.
The Demiki Air Crawl has the no action like a chunk does, but it's a lot smaller and can fit on any finesse jig you put it on.
What color? Come on, Jonathan, throw a color out here, baby.
I am very simple. Green pumpkin. I can change the trailer with dips and dyes. This time of year, I'll dip the very ends of my crawls in orange because most of the crawfish in North Georgia have orange tips this time of year.
What are you laughing and shaking your head
I just threw something out there.
Like I'm finding out that we have more in common than I thought.
Oh yeah.
Like,
doesn't everybody dip their crawls in orange about this time of year?
Did you go shopping and get you a jacket with him and Dane?
No, they don't.
Yeah. Do you have the jacket? Do you have the matching jacket and thong that him and Dane have?
Triplets?
Absolutely not.
Or do you want it?
No.
Huh?
No.
Your size would be a little smaller than Dana and Jonathan's. They're big boys.
It would in the back, yes.
But it's got
Front, not
it's
so
got
much,
listen,
man.
it's got some support in the front.
Don't you know?
Huh?
Don't knock
I
this
imagine it's
stuff
got. Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill.
But no, everybody.
You never seen Major League, the movie?
up. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't remember? Hey, bartender, Joe Boo needs a refill.
Man, I can't remember lyrics to music, and I can't remember lines to movies.
Oh,
Every once in a while, I'll pull out a Caddyshack, but that's about it.
You remember when he's sitting there with them cleaning them golf balls behind them women?
Yeah.
Bark
Bark like a dog for me.
Bark like
a dog.
Caddyshack is one of the best movies ever.
Absolutely. In the top 3.
Ever. It's one of the
Yeah.
best movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know some of you young guys haven't seen Caddyshack, but that's the kind of movies we grew up with back when movies were good.
I asked this one guy.
It just surprised me if they got some peach fuzz. Bring me some peach fuzz.
There you go.
I
I worked with a guy. I asked him if he knew the band Rush. No, I said, "Oh, this is a great Rush tune." He's like, "Who's the Rush?"
who's the
And
Rush?
it was like Tom Sawyer playing.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, you never hear. I mean, it's Tom Sawyer.
yeah,
Like, I don't care. I mean, he was in his early 30s.
yeah.
Like, you have to have heard Tom Sawyer.
I can't stand it when I
One
get
of the best Canadian rock bands of all time.
they are. I get some of my kids' friends over. I'm like, they don't know who Van Halen is. And I'm like, you people have really just that whole genre of 80s music and all that. Was 80s not the best decade ever?
It really was.
These-
I mean,
they
we're not
have
talking-
no idea.
Yeah, we're not talking the electric orchestra, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
We're talking about Van Halen and Rush.
Rush. I mean,
Jonathan, you're a young guy,
how old are you, Jonathan?
34.
Yes, so he's
All right.
a pup.
so you know who Rush and Van Halen are.
Yes. I grew up. Well, I don't know if y'all know this radio station or not. Out of Chattanooga, the KZ 106 was raised on it. That's all it plays is classic rock.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Listen, the
You have a
back
good
back
dad.
in the
John
80s,
John Boy and Billy on the
that's right. The
morning show.
Listen,
Okay, yeah.
the music was better. The girls had the big hair.
Yep.
We absolutely destroyed the ozone layer with our daggum hairspray and all that. It was just simply better. I don't care what anybody says.
I got friends that like the high hip jeans.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, they were hot.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, ooh.
Hey, listen, I had parachute pants.
We'll
I
get
got a
back to the
paddling.
fishing
Give me
part of
some.
the
Yes, right.
program
Listen, I'm
after
not
this
lying
message.
to you. I got a paddling back when you could paddle in school. I got my ass wore out
Yep.
by the agriculture teacher for talking in class. I had parachute pants on. You talking about a sting, dude.
Yep.
That
They
lit
were
me.
thin.
Oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
lit me up. Remember, we had the Zeke Avericis. We had all kinds of crazy stuff. Danny loves the big hair. I do. You can come on. Yeah, we own this show, so yeah, we ain't got to worry about. There you go. What we got here? Granny's apple pie.
There you go.
Gonna have a little bit of Granny tonight.
There you go.
Yum yum
Yum, yum.
yum
Yum.
yum yum. Oh, that's the way to knock out 2023 right there. So, listen, that Brian Marcus and me too, Danny. Listen, if you've never wore a pair of parachute pants, you don't know what you're missing, and you got to go commando in them things too.
Free.
Got to go free. You got a free ball.
Yep.
Got a free ball parachute pants. So
Yep.
that was the days, and it's funny we talk about. It's kind of like we got a little bit of Randy Blockett going back in the day. Back in the day. What do you think about old Randy?
Listen, I can't knock him too much because he really helped me with my jerkbait fishing.
Oh, Wayne Mitchell, don't bring me down, Bruce. Don't bring me down, Bruce. Yep.
The electric, that's the electric orchestra, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, no, I just think.
Does anybody know what that song's about?
I have no idea.
Like, seriously, if you've listened to the lyrics, does anybody know exactly what that song means?
No.
And Jonathan, I know that's before your time. You have no idea what we're talking about. You know the song, right?
What song?
That Don't Bring Me
Oh,
Down.
yeah.
But like, Bruce.
Oh, yeah. He heard
Yeah.
that on KZ 106 a lot, I'm sure.
KZ 106 played that about every day.
but like, seriously, like, I couldn't tell you what that song's about.
Nope.
I have no idea.
No. That's why I don't pay attention to lyrics. Every time I tell my wife, I'm like, "Oh, honey, I love this song." And you want to know something? I guarantee you, it's like, it's the banjo. Like, I'm a past musician, so it was the banjo that I would like in that song, and it'll be a song about death or divorce, or something like that, and she'll start crying. I'm like, what's the matter? I'm like, did you hear that banjo? She's like, it was about a divorce.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, there we go.
I don't really know
it again,
James. I don't really know if it is. I always thought for the longest time it was Deuce, but it's Bruce, right?
It's Bruce.
It's definitely Bruce.
It's Bruce. But I will tell you this: it's like now that I'm older. Okay, so I'm 51. Grew up in the 80s.
I'm older than you.
How old are you?
52. I just turned 52.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll be 52 in March. So we're close. We're close.
Yeah, good.
We're not as old as Kevin is over there. How old are you there, Tim?
54.
54. Okay, so listen, hey, 54 is the new 20, right? That's what I say. My body doesn't say so. My mind says so.
Dude.
But have you ever gone back? And I know we're getting off fictional, but we'll get back on it. But have you ever gone back and listened to the lyrics of some of the songs we grew up with now that you're older and you got kids? Perfect example. One of my favorite rock songs of all time, Wingers, 17. She's only 17. And then you go back and listen to it and you're like, that's probably.
So, you ever
Sweet
hear
Caroline.
the band?
Think about that, Sweet Caroline. I've heard that's a song about. That's about an underage, and you're like, we sing it all the time.
Yeah, in bars, and commercials on
commercials,
TV.
And you're like, oh, dude, it was a risque time.
I think the band is called Danger Danger. Have you ever heard of that band back in the 80s?
Is that some British rock or something?
No,
I don't remember that.
It's just one of those.
Did they play guitars?
One off. Oh yeah, well, it's a hair band back in the 80s.
I don't remember them.
And there's one song I can't remember it, but the only verse that I know is, it feels so good when you're in the pink. And it's just like,
did he just say that?
Yeah.
Did he just say that on our show?
I did. But I was
Nobody showed me where that was.
Oh my Lord. We just lost all our money for tonight. So
Demonetized.
No, seriously, no, but no, and it won't. It won't. But you sit back and you listen.
Yeah.
And I listen to again. Anybody knows me. I mean, the picture's right here. I'm a Van Halen junkie. But I go back now, and the right answer is Eddie Van Halen to any question. So I love the guitar, but I got to listen to some of the lyrics, and I'm like, wow. Now, when you're 17, 18, 20, nobody pays attention to that. And I think some of the people now that are that young, they're listening to this Cardi B and all that stuff. When they get our age, they're going to be sitting back with kids like, I can't believe I listened to that.
Yeah.
I can't believe I listened to all that stuff. So
they'll be beating their kids going, you can't sing that in the house. They'll be like, well, Mom, I heard it from you.
Listen, the first record I ever bought, true story, was Jay Giles' band Centerfold.
Nice.
You know what song I'm talking about?
I definitely do. Roller skated to it so many times.
My mom took me to the store and I said, I want this Jay Giles band. And she let me buy it. My mom had no idea what that song was about. She just clueless as to what that song was about.
Hey, Danny, I talked my grandma into buying me the little 45 of that.
Yeah.
And then I played it. And then I told her to ass whooping after that.
Seriously, that's what I'm saying.
She nailed me, buddy.
Can't be hot for, again, perfect Casey Robinson. Van Halen's Hot for Teacher. It is nothing more than a kid having a crush and a little fling with his teacher. Now, we always see on TV is, well, this teacher. And you know what irks me about that? And I know this is not going to be popular, but I'm telling you, these kids that tell on themselves, back in the 80s, you didn't tell a living soul. You just rode that till it was done.
Yep. Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. But now, like, my wife gets so mad at me, and I'll be like, yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
Anyway, different time. We're getting off. Infatuation. You guys know that's the way this show, Naughty Naughty is the song. Again, Danger Danger got canceled, LOL. So I don't know what that all meant. I spent the 80s riding with Mama. I know the hell out of some Conway Twitty. Conway Twitty. Now listen, go back and listen to some Conway Twitty songs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy from Hee Haw, right?
No, Conway Twitty's bigger than Hee Haw.
Well, yeah, he's bigger
Conway's
than Hee Haw,
like the
but he was
original
on Hee Haw.
How about this? Let me lay you down, or whatever the hell that song is.
I'd love to lay you down.
I love to lay you down. If you go back and listen to some old songs like that, Conway Twitty had a little bit of risque about him.
He's a male mammal.
He is a male mammal. If
Right.
you want
We're
to put
doing
it
that
that
for
way,
fun.
yes.
I mean,
Aren't we all?
Yeah, exactly. And what do we think about
Boobs.
besides fishing?
Boobs.
Exactly.
Fishing.
Boobs.
Were we talking about fishing?
I will get back to fishing
we're
in a
back to
second.
fishing.
It always goes down a rabbit
It's
hole.
it is Olivia
I'm here.
Newton-John's "Let's Get Physical" in
We're
gym class. and
spiraling out of control
Olivia
tonight.
Newton-John was gorgeous.
Absolutely
Oh my lord!
stunning.
So,
Hang on. Here you go. There's the winner. Some DAC.
Brett Matthews is calling you out.
David Allen Cole. Sal is a Yankee. Don't forget. Hey, listen. This is
You want to know something? Thank you, Brett.
listen.
Thank you, because
Porn
you know,
country. Joey Metcalf is what
it just gives me an excuse to be who I am. That's all I'm going to say about that, Brett Matthews.
But here's the thing: it's like, listen, it's like though, when we were growing up, we were totally ignorant to what was being said. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
just like, man, that music's good, and it was great. But then as you get older and you get kids, you turn out and I listen to what my kids listen to today, and I'm like, it's embarrassing. But then I listen to what I listen to, and I'm like, it's pretty much the same thing with
Yeah.
just different verbiage.
yeah,
It is, but
Yeah.
I don't care. The
it's the
80s
same
were
stuff. What? Who was that?
80s was fantastic.
It was amazing.
I swear though,
It was
I
amazing.
wish they'd bring the big hair
You
back.
can
Any-
ride your bike as far as you wanted, as long as you had your parents' permission, and you had nothing to worry about.
Oh, my dad would let me sneak. He knew I was sneaking out of the house. We had a sliding glass door in the kitchen, and I'd get my cousin, and if Jason's watching, he'll chime in. If not, he'll do it later on. Dude, the second my parents went to sleep, we were out that back door, and we were just whatever it is boys do back in that day.
Bonfires.
And then my dad was like, after we got, he goes, I knew y'all were doing it, but he also knew we were staying in the neighborhood and we'd be safe. Different time.
Different time.
Like if my kids snuck out of my house, which they're all out of the house now, but if they snuck out, I'd beat the daylights out of them. You know why? Because I know
Yeah.
what we were doing. And
Yeah.
it's funny. So it's a different time. So Wheeler Walker Jr. will get you canceled. Yes, he will. If you want to listen to that guy, he is the 2 Live Crew of country music. Remember 2 Live Crew?
Yes.
He's the 2 Live Crew of country music right
Wow.
now. So anyway, okay, so we got off the fishing, but that's the way this show works. Again, last show of 2023. Anytime Sal comes on, we never stick to the script.
No, not a chance.
We don't. So I figure Steve Pinkston to show up in the comment sections sooner or later like that. So what the hell was we talking about fishing wise?
We were on the Demeke air crawl.
Yes, we were.
Oh, so the serious people, the Demeke Aircraft. I've never fished one.
Well, Farmer's on point tonight.
Who's
He's
on the
keeping
board?
track.
It is Tim is on the board tonight. Tim McGuire is doing an admirable job filling in for Ryan. Ryan has the flu tonight, so he is.
Am I
so
doing okay, Nathan? I mean,
I
since
think
you
you do.
asked.
I think you're doing
Doing great.
well. I think you're doing well. I told him, I said, can you come up here and film that? He showed up at 4:00 today. I was like, my God, you're early, but he was beating traffic from Rome or Carters. Where are you from, Cartersville or Rome?
Wrong.
I was going to say, if he's from Cartersville, he's over from Dane's neck of the woods.
Yeah, I think he comes from Rome. He comes from Rome.
Thank you,
so
Rachel.
Dane's one of them Cartersvillians.
Well,
we got to get back on
Tim,
fishing.
Tim fishes a lake. I want to go fish fish here soon.
What's that?
It's those trophy lakes over in Rome.
Rocky Mountain.
Yep.
Have
My
you ever
ponds.
fished there?
No, but I've been asked to go fish it, and
I want to go fish it so
Listen,
bad.
I'm going to take that. Listen, don't
It
go
just
to the.
hasn't happened.
Don't go. Everybody talks
Let's
about.
go.
Everybody talks about that trophy
Anytime.
lake. I don't care what they say about that trophy lake. Just go to East and West Antioch, the regular 2 lakes that are open all day long. You'll catch just as many big fish, if not more, in those lakes.
Yeah,
Are
don't
they
worry about
electric only?
Heath.
Huh?
Yeah, don't worry about
Like
You
Lake
can
Heath.
put your big bass boat in there.
Can ya?
You just got to go trolling motor, no wake. So you
Okay.
can't crank the big motor up except the low. I think
Yeah, it's a
just the
putt
low.
lake. You can just putt wherever you need to go.
Can you idle?
You can idle.
You can
Okay,
idle.
so you can crank the big motor.
You can crank the big motor
But
in
you-
any of the lakes
do
out there
not-
and idle.
Listen, we had an electric tournament over there, and so we don't think about wakes. You know, I mean, we zoom off. Listen, shut the hell up. Listen. Listen.
Oh,
As-
I'm not out of
listen,
screen. I got
as,
it.
listen, as Stephen Barday says, we zoom off. Okay, so but you know, at Elko 20 or some of you, they'll throw a little bit of a weight. We had a tournament over there, and the game wardens or whoever run, they were not happy with us. We're running like 9 miles an hour, and they still got onto us.
Really?
Oh, very, very much
I
so.
think the water churned so much they look like Asian carp. All the bass are just coming up out of the water from the vibration.
Is that
from
what?
them
Oh
all
yeah, we
taking
had
off.
them things just jumping everywhere like
I
that.
saw the wakes.
But yeah, but I'm telling you what. Listen, seriously though, East and West Antioch, you can go over there, and I will say this: an old friend of mine, him and a buddy went over there, and their best 5 in one day was 35.
Holy
35 pounds on largemouth.
That's awesome.
And now I will tell you this, man, if a man was starving, he'd go over there and live on the gizzard shad over there. Big gizzard shad. It's got walleye in it. It's got crappie. It's got everything. But Fluke Master, that's his home lake. And but yeah, the biggest bass I've caught in a tournament last 2 or 3 years came from Rocky. It was like 7 3/4 largemouth.
Nice.
But think about this. Think about this. 35 pounds, 5 fish.
Sounds like you're fishing in Texas.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
But also here's another thing though about Rocky. You can go over and catch 35 pounds today. You go back over there tomorrow and you will zero.
That place is hero
Have I
or
fished
zero.
it?
There is no in between. It's either on
Huge
or
gizzard
in a
shad.
nice view.
See, it is. And I tell you what, the most impressive thing I've ever seen, now other than the 35-pound bag, that's impressive. But Randy, and I forget his last name, he fishes electric on. We had an EBO class, 2-day classic over there. He fished by himself. That joker fished basically in one spot on East Antioch, and he beat the entire field, throwing a shaky head. I think his 2 days, it was upper 30s, if I remember correctly. And all he did was he fished a shaky head off of this little ledge that everybody knows about, and he waxed our ass. It's that kind of lake. But again, you could go back tomorrow and just catch nothing.
Okay.
But if you get on them, dude.
I would love to catch 30 pounds worth of bass. Wouldn't you, Jonathan?
Oh, yeah.
All largemouth. And if I'm not mistaken.
That's right up my alley.
I'm sure it is.
And if I'm not mistaken, and it might have been the same day, the guy he was fishing with, I believe Justin Reynolds, not only fished with him that day, and it might be a separate day, but I think it's the same day. He caught the lake record walleye twice that day.
Now,
it's got walleye in it.
That's a show you need to have, is a walleye show.
Eric Crowley's the guy I need to talk to about up there on Carter's. And I actually talked to him about doing the TV episode of the Real American Road Trip up there.
Yeah.
But he's got that dialed in right now, and he's not going to share that for a couple more years till everybody else catches up.
That's what I grew up on.
Yeah.
Is fishing walleyes.
Really?
Yes.
I caught one out of Blue Ridge in electric only tournament this year.
Dude, Blue Ridge is a place to go catch them.
I caught it though. I caught it on a kayak in about 7 foot of water right there by that old crappy boat ramp we put in.
Absolutely. Yep. They're not a deep water fish all the time. They're just, they move.
This time of year, you can go up the Toccoa.
That's right, Brian Marcus, in the dirt.
And catch about 8 or 9 of them up there in the river.
Yeah.
On the Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
I've caught several out there at Rocky on a spinnerbait and a jerkbait.
Yeah.
Yep.
They were bass fishing. And I think the lake record is 7 pounds something.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little, I do not know, Lord, I don't want to hear it in the comments if I don't know it. But he held up 2. And they weighed them, but they just threw them back. They didn't even think about it. Both of them, he'd have broke the lake record 2 times in one day on walleye.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the one that broke my rod was bigger than that, I think, and I threw him back.
Yeah, and he,
oops,
they're not good eaters when they're that big. I mean, listen, so
is it like catfish? The bigger they get,
they still taste good.
They
Don't
still
get me wrong.
That's exactly where I was going. It's still relative. Like a big walleye is going to taste great. Okay, it's going to be amazing. But when you catch them that are, 16, 17, 18 inches, even the 20 inchers, they're just absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
Now, I'll
yum, baby. I like
the only fish that I have found that competes with walleye on taste for freshwater is these yellow-bellied perch.
Absolutely.
That is the only fish that I found compares to. And I talk about Blue Ridge a lot because I was raised on Blue Ridge. But Blue Ridge has got some of the biggest yellow-bellied perch I've ever seen in my life.
See, that's what I want to do. So on season 2, when it comes out of the Real American Road Trip, we fished Big Glen Lake in Michigan. And we went out with a guy, and is basically a perch episode. So what we did, basically, they got a drop shot rig, kind of, that about 12 inches up has a line with a little hook, and about 12 inches up another hook. And you just put minnows on it. You drop it to the bottom, and you just hold it taut, trying to keep contact with the bottom, and you go, do-do-do-do. We caught 100 in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
But they were all So the guy that took us said there's 1 biters, 2 biters, 3 biters. We kept the 2 bites and the 3 bites because he filleted them and cooked it all in the episode. You guys will see that. But the size perch that you guys are catching down here, and like Kevin Underwood caught with his clients the other day on Lanier, that's a whole nother ball game. Those were big compared to the ones I caught.
I've got a
Oh my God, they tasted good.
Got a story about yellow belly perch, and it is funny. It was during a tournament. We were sitting up on Blue Ridge on an ABA, and I ended up having a co-angler that day. Well, we went up there to the split of the river in Wilscott, and they're always there. Bunch of big perch. Well, a buddy of mine had not caught a fish all day, and they were chewing everywhere else. He just could not get them to bite. Well, the co-angler ended up catching like a 2-pound, 15-ounce yellow belly perch.
Oh, crap. That's a big one.
Monster
Dude,
of a yellow belly perch. Well,
Hell yeah,
the guy that I'm talking about, it was literally a point across from us. Saw him catch it, and he couldn't tell it was a perch at that distance. And he goes, "Oh, this won't help," and threw it back. The guy on the other point started going ballistic. Just, I can't catch a fish, and y'all throwing 2-pound fish back.
he threw a 2-pound perch back.
And
But the other guy thought it was a
the guy
bass.
thought it was a bass.
That was a bass.
He cranked up and left, and we got back to the ramp. He goes, "I didn't catch a fish all day, and y'all are throwing 2-pound fish back." I said, "Well, if it makes you feel any better, it was just a 2-pound perch. It wasn't a bass."
So check that out. So Brett Matthews caught a 1-pound perch first fish this morning. That's on Chatuga.
Okay.
Chatuga's got a lot of good yellow bellies.
And so another little lake that's got him is the little Yahula Reservoir up in Dahlonega. I've caught perch up there on an Ed rig.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, right there by Walmart. So okay, all right. So listen, guys. All right, we ain't talk fishing hardly at all, but that's all right. It is time for the Opson Fluoro question of the week. Now, again, listen, guys. Don't get mad at me when I read this question. All right, it's just like last week. I looked down on it, and I'm like, this is going to take. We're going to have some fill in this because it's going to take you guys a while. Now listen to this. It's a 2-part question. Tim McGuire, you're the judge. So the first,
Lord. Okay.
well, hell, you don't even know the answers, do you?
Uh-uh.
Hell, you ain't the judge. Why am I doing
I
with
just
this?
push buttons, and I'm here for the comments, literally.
Are you sure people are going to be able to answer this? Especially for
It's going to take some Googling like last
okay,
week.
guys, get your get your buttons ready. So this is for
Google.
This is for $50 off at OpsonUSA.com. If you win, if you will message me on Facebook or find another way to get in touch with me, I'm going to send you a code, okay, for $50 off on their website. I'm telling you, try this fluoro. It is good stuff. All right. Now, listen.
I can send you a Disney question.
I don't want a Disney question. Yeah, we don't want a Cinderella question. So this is going to be pretty fun, but damn, this is going to be tough. All right. It has to do with the FLW, guys. So here's the question. The first person who gets, now remember last week it was a 3-part question, and a lot of you guys were putting like 1 of 3 in that thing. 2-part question, got to have 2 answers. First person does that gets $50 off at OpsonUSA.com, makers of outstanding fluorocarbon. Is it 3? Last week or this
The
week?
plot thickens.
2 answers to the first question.
Oh, it is a 3-part question. Okay, guys, here we go. So I need the name, the year, and then the answer to the third question. Okay, so here we go. And I don't know this guy. So thanks to Kevin Thornton and Publix Chicken for providing our pregame meal today and this fine shrimp. So here we go. Here's the question. $50 for Opson USA. Who founded Operation Bass and what year was it established? That's 2 questions, 2 answers right there. And what was his job prior to founding Operation Bass? All right, we're gonna need some music, so I'm gonna read it again. Who founded Operation Bass and what year was it established? And what was his job prior to founding Operation Bass? So you guys in the comment section, we'll start watching that. Dude, that's some legit fluoro, dude.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was just tugging on that 6-pound, and it's. I'll try it.
Forest Wood Ranger Boats, 1990. No. Mike Whitaker, 1979. High school teacher. You are 2 out of 3, Clint Bartlett. Damn, I think he won last week. I still got to send him his code. He's going to double up right there. So you got 2 out of 3 right there. 79 Whitaker and school teacher. No. The 179, Mike Whitaker is correct, but his occupation prior to starting Operation Bass, proctologist.
Who said proctologist?
Oh, that was Brad.
You know it,
Brad Matthews. You know exactly who it is.
Ron.
Freaking Brett.
Really?
No, that's not right. He was not a teacher, according to. And listen, let's see. Everybody keeps putting high school teacher, so it must be. That's not a high school teacher. He might have been a high school teacher, but that is not what he did prior. Electronic salesman. Close. Nope. Yes. Nope. Okay. You're very close, Clint Bartlett. Very close. 79, owner Ranger Boats, Forest Wood. Gynecologist. No, sir.
Negative.
We know better than that. So,
That'd
anyway.
be too obvious on this show.
Coach. No, you guys are close. So, hey, listen. Mike Whitaker, 1979. What we need is his occupation prior to starting Operation Bass. Football coach and teacher is not right. He might have done that, but this is his job right prior. And guys, listen, blame Kevin Thornton for this. I didn't come up with this damn question. So you guys, he was not a teacher. According to FLW site, high school coach and teacher. You got to dig deeper. I will say this. You guys look at Clint Bartlett's. He was not a yum taste tester. That's my job. All right. So if you look at Clint Bartlett fishing,
That's my son-in-law.
he was very close with that. He was not an electrician. Now, he was not a fluffer either. Not a fluffer. For those of you that know what a fluffer is, shame on you. You should not know what a fluffer is. So,
Oh, dear.
all right. So 79, Mike Whitaker. Clint Bartlett said electronic salesman. Very close, but not specific enough.
Can I take a guess?
Male exotic dancer. No, it's on Wikipedia. Well, Wikipedia is wrong. I could make a Wikipedia entry. Take a guess.
A vacuum salesman?
No. He was a salesman. Okay, let me give you this. Let me give you guys this hint. He was a salesman. What company was he a salesman for? How about that? What company was he a salesman for? And it was not electronics. But think about that. You guys are really close. See, this is what happened when I let Kevin. He did not work at Wally World. Electrical engineer is not close. You guys, this is Public chicken fryer. No. Walmart. No. He was a salesman for a company.
Brazzers.
No.
Wow, Tyler.
Tyler Minix definitely watches porn.
Yep.
So we know that. Guys, Tyler Minix knows what Brazzers is and a fluffer all in one night. So lure salesman,
And a
no.
gynecologist.
So you can tell the guy spends a lot of time in the bathroom on his phone. That's Tyler. Wikipedia is audited by the masses. It's 99% accurate. I tell you what this. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a hint for the question number 3. He was a salesman for a certain radio company. If you guys can get this, and I will say this, it is three.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right. So it's 3 letters radio. Evidently Wikipedia has got this all wrong. Sears Sucks Crash. No, not Scotty Edwards. Radio Shack. No. I love this. This is what happens when I let Kevin do. I told Kevin last week he is not doing the question of the week again.
Where does he get this information?
Not Astroglide. Listen to these guys. You guys are all in the gutter tonight.
This is going south fast.
Whitaker, RCA. No. RCA. No. But you guys, hey, listen. Not RCA. Huh? They're getting closer. Not RCA.
You're getting close with that
I love the
alphabet
guy-
now.
Yeah, come on, guys. Come on. For $50 off, it is not RCA. Think TV channel. WSB radio, no.
Close.
However, have you getting closer? JBL, no. Zenith, no. I love this. You guys are Googling like hell. JCV, no.
We're going to shut the internet now.
PBS. The first of the 3 letters is C.
I know it.
It's C. Come on, guys. CBS, so you're close. So I got to have all 3 of the right answers in the question. The first person to put all 3 in the right. Okay, Clint Bartlett wins again. Good Lord, 79.
Wow.
All right, so the answer is Mike Whitaker in 1979, and he was a salesman for CBS Radio. And that officially will be the last time I let Kevin Thornton do the question of the night. Yes, that's what.
I made all that up.
Oh, did you?
That was stressful.
Oh.
Very stressful.
Oh, hey, Clint, since you won last week, do you mind if I let Darian Moss win this week since he was the second one? I still got to send you yours. Clint, put in the comment section if that's cool with you. So a lot of you got, because Darian Moss had 79, Matt Whitaker, CBS. Pass it on to the next one. You're all right there. So, hey,
That's awesome.
Darian Moss,
Outstanding.
you're the winner. 1979. Who the hell is Mike Whitaker?
He started Redman.
He started the Red Man and all that. Okay, all right.
It was the predecessor to FLW.
Predecessor to FLW. There you go. So I didn't have a clear Operation Bass. Show us the proof. Hey, listen, let me tell you what the proof is. The proof is Kevin Thornton. And he has lived long enough that what he says is it goes. Plus, he brings us Publix chicken, which is the finest fried chicken in the market. And again, if you're with Publix, we'd love to have a sponsorship because that Publix chicken is
Dude,
legit.
it's serious, man.
And again, listen, guys, I'm telling you what, listen, on these Thursday nights, if you guys want to come up before the show and you want to hang out during the show, from about 6:30 on, unless you're Tim and get here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But for everybody else, if you get here about 6:30 on, it is a good time before the show. We have a good time. You get together with all the guys and talk. And actually, probably more juice gets spilled before the show and after the show than during the show like that. So anyway, all right. So good. Option USA, I'm going to send you Darian. If you will reach out to me, Clint, you're a good man. That's awesome right there. So Darian, if you're on Facebook, reach out to me, message me, Danny Pruitt on Facebook. I'll send you your code. And Clint, remind me, dude, I still got to send you your code from last week. I'm bad about that. So anyway, that's really good. Oh, good Lord. Look at Joey Metcalf. Pull that up. I have no idea who farted in the tent 3 days.
That'll be
after
next
Sir
week's
Edmund-
question. Y'all study for that.
Y'all study for that. Actually, I tell you, I'm going to make it easy for you next week. Next week's question will be a Van Halen question.
Ooh.
It will not be easy. Don't be typing in Jump or Panama. I will have a Van Halen question of the week. All right, so we'll give that away. But I want to thank
I got
Option
one
USA.
for Joey who just asked this question. It's what did he eat before he
Mm.
farted in the tent?
Well, you can't eat too many things if you're going up Mount Everest. Good Lord.
Right.
Nobody wants to do that on a full stomach. So anyway, reach out to me on Facebook at Fish North Georgia or my personal page, and I will send you the code. Now, about an hour and 10 minutes in. So let's kind of talk. This is the last show of 2023. And you are right. A couple years ago, you were on here, and every year we do a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
What's your resolutions for 2024? And so let's do both of you guys, and then you guys in the comment section. Is the question just how bad? I'm not even going to say that. Is Danny's taste in music? Tyler, if you don't like Van Halen, something's wrong with you. You just something's wrong with you, dog. Like that. You're the one saying Brazzers and Fluffers.
They don't
and
play
stuff.
Van Halen on the porn sites.
They don't.
So that's why you
It's
just wouldn't
highbrow
know.
music like
Yeah.
that. There's no love scene going on to Van Halen. So I like good music. So I like all kinds of music, but Van Halen's the best, and I am the authority on it, and that's the answer.
It's your show.
Tonight is the answer. All right, but let's go 2024 resolutions. And it can be fishing, it can be personal, but let's do a fishing resolution. So what is your resolution? And you guys in the comment section, again, put them down there too. We'd like to read yours as well. 2024, what is Sal Pinto's fishing resolution for this upcoming year? Or resolutions, plural. And Jonathan, you'd be thinking about that as well.
You know,
Van Halen or Van Hagar? Let me answer this question real
sorry.
quick.
Yeah,
let me answer
please
this.
do,
So pull that
because
up
I'm
there.
still thinking.
There's only one answer to that question, and the answer is Eddie. The answer is Eddie.
Right on.
The answer is Eddie.
Yep.
So there you go.
What did he die from?
Cancer.
Okay.
He says he caught it. He got he got tongue cancer one time. He died of cancer. He blamed it actually on the metallic picks that he would put in his mouth while he was finger tapping.
Were they lead?
They were some kind of metal, but
Metal.
however, he smoked like 10 packs a day, so that probably didn't help either.
No. that
So I
never
mean, if you ever
helps.
seen a Van Halen concert, he didn't have a cigar sticking in the end of his guitar, so that probably didn't help anything.
Yeah, he smoked like a pot.
Jeremiah, my New Year's resolution is to knock off more bucket list species from around the world, like I've done the last 2 years, and break PBs already set. And that's a pretty cool, because that leads into mine. I want to catch more species, and I've gotten to do that through the TV show that I wouldn't have normally done, like the muskie, and I knocked off the king salmon, the steelhead, and all that. I think anytime you can go catch a new species, even brook trout. I've never caught a brook trout.
Most beautiful fish on the planet. in my
Holy
opinion.
Toledo! And
Aren't
that thing,
they?
listen,
They're so gorgeous,
They're pretty.
man.
and in season 2, I caught some in Michigan that were big, but we went up to Helen. You guys will see. We went up to Helen up with the Chattahoochee really starts, and them we were native to Georgia. Them things weren't but like 3 or 4 inches long, but catching something that small on a fly that pretty, it's awesome. I mean, I've caught plenty of bass, but to catch something like that, you're like, oh, it's a 3-inch, 4-inch fish, but it's like, dude,
It's a brookie.
it's a brook.
That's they are the white on the fins, the outline of the white on the fins is what gets me. And then you get into the spots on the side. I love catching trout, number one, but a brook trout that's like a score in trout fishing.
It is. Kevin Badgett, fish with more of an open mind, not try to force feed them a particular lure. That is kind of like similar to you 2 years ago when you were saying, hey, fish with your gut. What are you laughing at?
Oh, geez. All my club members are asking about Logan Martin.
Okay.
Bogey.
Let's
Bogey.
do that.
Look at that question.
If Farmer or
Farmer-
Pinto, yeah, you read it. That's your
If
guy.
Farmer or Pinto were fishing Logan Martin in mid-January, which is when our club tournament is, what would they be throwing and why?
Okay, so how about this?
Yeah.
How about this? You
If
can't answer
Warren
that.
Barnes, going back a little bit, was asking Sal, what are your plans for Logan Martin?
Okay, all right.
So they're all-
So let me do this. Since you're going to be fishing against those guys, you don't get to answer that. Jonathan, if you were fishing Logan Martin in mid-January, what would you be doing?
Well, I've been on Logan Martin a few times, but I would go south, and there's 2 creek arms that are pretty much right across from each other, and I'd go in both those creek arms and those channel swings, and I'd
Is
have
one of them Clear Creek?
Yep, and I'd have a jerkbait in my hand, and I wouldn't put it down. That and a red rattle trap.
Okay, well there you go. And I got a thumbs up. Listen, I got a
You
thumb
get out of my
up.
head.
Yeah, so like thumb up from Tim.
He
in
is
the back
spot
there.
on.
Spot
I ain't
on.
been on Logan Martin in a while, but that's where to go.
That's where to go. There you go. So
that is
hey,
so
listen,
funny, man.
That is
so
it.
funny.
That if it bites slow, just put an underspin in your hand and just hang on.
Yeah.
Just-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So pull up some of these resolutions that we're seeing right there. I saw Ron Swinford had one. Mine is to fish more. Neil Scoggins, mine is to break a 6-pound largemouth mark. There you go. That's a good one.
You need to go to Rocky Mountain.
Go to Rocky Mountain.
Or
I'm
Notley.
telling you, or Notley. And that's the thing about Notley is I hear people like just absolutely crapping on Notley. And I'm like, listen, if you heard the conversations that go on in the shop about Notley and big largemouth, you would not diss it so much. Now, and I was with you. I was with you, and
Really?
I saw Kaz Anderson catch a 7-pounder when I fished with him. But I was with you, and I seen just under the dock. They're there.
We
That's
went
all
up
I
there
got
when
to say is they
they
are
started moving under the floats. It was right before they started spawning. It was still cold, and they'd started moving under the floats. And I'd point at one, but look, Danny, there's a 5-6 pounder sitting under the
Dude,
dock.
they're just
Look,
they're
go to the next
sitting
dock.
there
There's another 5-6 pounder sitting under the dock.
in the shadows, and that was where we did the infamous Danny upside down reeling thing.
Oh,
So like I tried to skip under. I'm the world's worst skipper.
Yeah.
We don't skip nowhere in electric only. We have no docks on any of the lakes. So I tried to skip under this dock with my bait caster, blew it up. Jonathan throws me his open face, and I just pull the bell back and I cast it. And all of a sudden I look and he reels with his left hand. I reel everything with my right. I couldn't do it. And that line took off and I turned that thing upside down. I set the hook and I'm reeling. I got the thing upside down. I look and he got off. I fought it for some.
what hurt for the most part is he fought it for a good two minutes trying to get, because it was one of the big ones. It was a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he fought it and fought it and fought it, and finally it pulled off. I was like, not only did the big fish get off, but I look back there and you've got my rod upside down.
Just bending the
Listen,
total
yeah, I'm like,
opposite
It's
direction.
been in the opposite direction. I'm really, and I looked at him. I said, "Don't you tell a damn soul." I said, "Don't you tell nobody that." And Jonathan's laughing at me like crazy, and I'm like, I cannot listen. Here's what's funny about me is like I throw a baseball with my left hand. I shoot guns and bows with my left hand. I write with my left hand. I cannot reel a fishing reel with my left hand. I'm right-handed because I grew up. My daddy and all them were right-handed.
Okay.
So everything I've ever
Okay.
done's been right-handed. I cannot reel with my left hand. My brain, something in my brain just doesn't. It's like this ain't right. It's like kissing your cousins. I can't do it
because I grew up with open face reels or spinning reels. My bait casters are all left-handed.
See, I'm backwards. I'm so backwards. I'm left-handed with my spinning reel, but I'm right-handed.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are though. A lot of guys are, but it actually pains me to watch people reel a spinning rod with their right hand.
Yeah,
and the pros do it all the time. I mean, you see them doing all the time, and then they reel against a drag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I understand. Like you're setting your drag really light. And if you went steelhead fishing, did you use a free spool? Did you?
No, we were down rigging on Lake Michigan.
Okay,
so we had
you haven't fished them in the river.
No.
Dan,
I did. Listen, I did. Listen, I caught a big king salmon in the river on a fly rod.
Okay, all right,
but not steelhead.
Okay,
we did that trolling like 100 foot deep on Lake Michigan. You guys got to watch. I got sick and threw
downriggers, of course, or Dixie spinner or Dixie divers.
Downriggers, and don't ask me. They all had fancy names. They were spoons.
Okay,
so whatever, but they were like 100 foot deep, and then you had to jerk them off the. That's a bad
was
word.
it a round disc?
Yeah, we use those.
Yeah, those are Dipsy divers.
Okay, yeah, we use those.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Until the waves got up, and then I got sick.
Oh yeah, it doesn't take much.
It doesn't. Okay, so it doesn't. So I saw somebody said catch. Go up in the comments just a little bit more right there. Zay, pull up Zay 311 right there. Going up. Right there. I want to get everybody in there. Catch more trout, brown, rainbow, and brook around Bowman Island and north or in the Hoots. And I'm telling you, listen, over the last and listen, Zay, dude, I'm glad you're watching, and I haven't seen that name, and I appreciate you watching. Over the last year, I've gotten into fly fishing, and I can tell you right now, I'm hooked on that. That is by far the most fun thing I've done in the last. I mean, I'm 51. I bass fished all my life. Hooking them fish on a fly rod is just a different experience. Now, I haven't fished below the dam where he's talking about yet, but I've hit. We got a video coming out here in the next couple of weeks where I went to all 5 delayed harvest streams, and with the goal of catching, because I suck. I mean, I'm terrible, but I caught fish at all of them with the exception of one. You got to find out which one that is, but that's so much fun.
Trout fishing it's a whole different animal, and it's a very visual thing.
Yes.
It's almost like fishing top water, or
you get it all.
Yeah, man.
You look for your current breaks. You look for everything when you're trout fishing.
You got to read that water.
It's just like bass fishing in a certain way. So like if you put a dry fly, that's your top water.
Yep.
If you're throwing a streamer, that's your crankbait, your Seville, those kind of things.
Yep.
If you use a dry fly or indicator and you got a nip down low, it's almost kind of like drop shot fishing.
Yep.
So there's a lot, but the problem is you don't set the hook in trout fishing like you do in bass fishing.
Oh gosh, no.
But when you guys watch this video, you will see that I'm turning my hips. I got my rod behind me. I'm terrible, but it is fun. So that's a pretty cool thing to do. Let's see. Am I missing anybody else? I want to perfect my woolly booger. Tyler Minix, I don't know what I'm going to do with you guys. So Danny got to enjoy ocean of Lake Michigan. It was terrible. So like Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
We're on this big boat. We're trolling. And it's bluebird skies. And there's this one little strip of clouds off in the distance, and it's bluebird skies past that. And this old salty guy, I mean, he owns Arch Tavern over there in his 70s. He looks like a guy that grew up on a like Gilligan's Island kind of boat. And he looks up and he goes, "Boys, them clouds are going to be trouble." And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it is 1 inch thick and there's nothing behind it. I'm used to storms down here coming. Yeah. I'm telling you what, it went from glass to like 6 foot waves when that little thing came across. And I puked my brains out. And he called it. He said that little strip. So it's a totally different world up there. And the water is so clear in Michigan. You take the clearest water in Georgia and it is muddy compared to Michigan.
It's the same way. It's the same way in Lake Ontario, St. Lawrence River.
They got those tiger mussels in there that cleared that out.
The zebra mussels.
Yep. That's what it is. Yep. You're absolutely right. Yep. So anyway, let's see. Anybody else put in the hell, have we even got to your resolutions yet?
No, and because I'm still struggling with it, and because I don't want to, so I'm gonna agree with one of the other listeners. Or it's fishing more free, just fishing freer, and it goes along with fishing with you gut. I think on a fishing standpoint, I mean, yeah, I want to catch more fish, I want to catch bigger fish, but I just think to try to be more successful at tournaments and just enjoying yourself, it's just don't let the stuff bother you. And my club members call me Rocco, and there's a reason for that.
Why?
And
You can't say that. Not tell us the reason.
There's a movie, and it'll come to me what it is. But there's a portion of this movie where this guy just absolutely loses his mind because of the situation. I think there was two guys that
you spin out.
Huh?
Do you spin out?
Yes, I do, but not
Farmer's raising his
nearly as bad
as you
I used to. Not nearly as bad. But it's just sometimes it just gets to you.
It does. It does.
And I was close on day 2 on Hartwell. I had 2 fish at 1:30. Okay, and I was banging off. I fished. I never fished any docks, but we were in an area where I wanted to fish these docks. There was a ditch that ran right up to this one, and there was 3 foot of water on either side of this dock, and it ran right up underneath that dock. And there was 5 docks leading up to this one, and I'm banging off every float and prop and pontoon. I was hitting everything, and I was just getting madder and madder and madder. My co-angler says to me, man, don't worry about it. You'll have plenty of time, blah, 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 blah. You're good. Don't worry about it. And I've got 2 fish in the boat. I got the 2 right ones, but I got 2 fish in the boat. And I get to the last dock that's right in the ditch, just lines right up. And I put the most beautiful cast underneath that platform. Never heard it skip. Never. I mean, it just went 20 feet underneath this thing. And sure enough, I catch one just under 2 pounds, just enough to calm me down.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Yeah.
I still didn't have a limit at 2:15, and I had to weigh in at 3:15. I only had 3 fish at that point. So you want to talk about wanting to spin out, but
you were puckered up.
I was puckered up. That's all I wanted was a limit at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't give a crap if I had 2 1-pounders.
Oh,
I needed to come in with 5 fish. I can't go in day 2 with the lead without coming in with a limit. That's just embarrassing.
That hurts.
Right,
hurts.
Jonathan?
Well, I'm not saying anything about that.
What's yours?
Huh? New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
I want to get back to why I started fishing.
And why was that?
Just fun of it. I mean, I've turned it into a job the last couple of years. Just
Yeah.
get back to the fun of it.
I agree with that.
And drop 40 pounds.
Yes, me too. It's kind of hard with such a fine sponsor like Etowah Beer, Meat,
And
and Wine. But yeah.
I want to break my PB.
What's your PB?
It's going to be tough.
What was it?
A 10-12.
Yes, that's not going to be easy.
It was a caught on Notley.
You better eat some of these shrimp. Caught on Notley.
On a top toad under a dock.
You just top water. What is it?
Just one of the little top toads. It's a kicking style frog. That's a hollow bodied frog.
Yeah.
And we were fishing that day in a tournament. I caught a 10-14 in a tournament.
You guys be thinking about
awesome because that hardly ever happens, especially in North Georgia.
I was seeing a lot of brim up under the docks, and I mean pretty good sized brim. And you could skip a wacky, a fluke, anything under these docks, and you'd watch 5-6 pounders crash that thing and just bow up and stop and wouldn't eat it. I said, I need something with a yellow belly, something that looks like a brim. As soon as I tie that hollow body frog on, skip it under there, a 4.5 comes up and just sucks it down.
Oh, really?
We went about 2 more docks. Old, dilapidated dock, looked like crap. Had
Best
stuff
docks.
growing. Skipped under it, looked like a toilet bowl flushed underneath it. I hit it. It didn't move on a heavy rod. Said, get the net, put her in the net, waiter, 10-14.
I don't even want to
That's
hear it. I haven't
awesome.
broke double digits.
I haven't either.
Well, the one I want to break more than anything is my spot. I want to catch my PB spot.
What's your PB spot?
It's a 6-12, but I want to get a 7+.
What's yours?
It was a 520. And I
Right.
was able to catch that in a tournament. So
I got you.
that's it's not it's a big spot, right? But
That
it's
is a
not a
big
huge
spot.
spot.
It's still a huge spot to somebody like me. I'm the
Well,
king of the
it's-
2-pounders. Timothy,
Yes.
what's your resolution for 2024?
Similar to Jonathan's, to do more fun fishing instead of worrying about running around with cameras.
Yeah, but you're good with cameras. Shout out your YouTube while
It's
you're out
fun.
here. Shout out your YouTube.
You can follow me at T McGuire Outdoors on all the social, YouTube,
That's right.
Instagram, Facebook. And I'm going to try to do better on Allatoona. So ride along. You can either laugh with me or at me.
Yeah,
however it turns out.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you guys, like I said, you guys in the gallery, think about it. I think that you'll laugh with you. Well, I think that a lot, and I noticed a couple of them, like Will Junkins said, it had something fishing, but what I remember about his comment was coaching his daughter's basketball. I believe it was basketball. What are you laughing at?
Farmer's heading to Cali.
No,
He done
No.
backed up in the corner over there.
no,
Paul, some pot.
no.
Yeah,
I ain't headed. They were 3 years ago. Buddy of mine fished against him a lot. Got out of that tournament trail and hadn't seen him in a while, but hear from him every once in a while. Caught a 7-pound spot out of Carter's.
They're there.
They're there.
Wow.
There's
They're
there's a Georgia state record in Carter's. They shocked it up 2 years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah. Now
So
yeah.
what's the deal?
You
with
didn't
the
tell us
timber
how
on
big it
Carter?
was.
Did you fishing the timber that's literally coming
Sandbag?
out of the water, or are you finding some hidden timber, or do you not fish it?
I'll fish the timber in around shad spawn. When they're in there spawning around that timber, I'll go in there with a top water or something like that. But
Yeah.
other than that, I just leave it alone.
Do you?
Right now, for some reason, they stack in ditches more on Carter's than they do on Lanier
Really?
this time of year.
Really?
When they're on them thread fin. Everybody says herring.
Yeah,
herring,
it is.
Herring,
It is a
herring.
thread fin bite, is it not?
It's
Is
a
the
thread fin bite.
The ditch bite is a thread fin bite.
The herring, if it's sunny, will come up. You can tell herring from thread fin every time. If you look at thread fin on a forward facing sonar, if you have forward facing sonar, and I didn't learn this till I got it. If you scan over on herring, it'll be a small ball and then they'll flatten out. It'll be a one big line.
And they move fast.
Thread fin, ball up
And stay balled up.
and stay on themselves. They group up and stay like this.
Mm-hmm.
They will not move that much. And if it's sunny, they stay on the bottom.
Yes.
If it's cloudy, they'll come up. That's how you can tell thread fin from herring on your sonar.
Okay.
Herring will come up on and when it's sunny, that's the ones you usually see cruising in about 10, 15 foot in the wintertime. Your thread fin are on the bottom.
Okay.
That's why your 2.8 Kitech works so
That's
well.
exactly what I was getting
in
to say.
the,
That's why guys throw the
wintertime.
2.8. Real quick before I get to a couple of the other comments, how
Yeah.
many 300 games have you bowled?
5.
Seriously?
That's so close to what in high school.
So you're a bowler too.
I used to. Yeah.
So why'd you give that? If you're bowling 300, dude, why are you giving that up? Be a professional bowler.
You know, that's something I always wanted to do when I was a kid. I mean, I started when I was 5.
Do you know Rob Lynn?
I do know Rob Lynn.
He's the one that told me to ask you that question. How many 300 games have you bowled?
Yeah. Rob's a buddy from back home in New York. So there you
Oh,
go. Is that
so
your
fellow Yankee.
So now you got somebody listening to your show up in
Hey,
New York. How's
Rob. Hey, thank you for joining. You should join us every week, not just when Sal's here. So that's pretty awesome. So
that? That's funny. Thanks, Rob.
yeah.
Thanks.
So I've seen. I tell you what, I'm watching in the comment section. Guys are talking about investing better. I see Bitcoin comments. Listen, I tried that. I bought that damn Doji coin or whatever, that dog coin.
Oh, Dodge
I bought some of that, and that shit just went.
did it.
Second I bought it.
How about these people buying Bitcoin when they were my son? Okay, my Drew, he had 2 Bitcoins when he wasn't even out of high school yet.
And what are they worth now?
He doesn't have them.
Oh, he don't have
He
them?
got rid of them.
Did he really?
Yep, he had a
Oh,
friend
I
of
bet
his.
he's kicking himself, ain't
He
he?
is. He had a friend of his that told him to get him. His friend Ben told him to get Bitcoin, and he ended up getting some, and he didn't hang on to them. I mean, so it's 60 grand, right? I mean, obviously he'd love to have that 60 grand. I would love to have 60 grand like that.
Yes.
So for the $100-$200 investment, but still, it's crazy. Like where is this stuff going to?
Bitcoin is worth $42,000 a coin right now.
Yeah. Okay. So 84.
Still, I
And,
mean,
it's Cybercoin.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like-
it's cryptocurrency.
I mean,
Stuff we did not expect to be talking about on the Live Well podcast tonight. What about you guys out there? What's your resolutions? Just shout them out and I'll repeat them.
I was going to say yum yum in my boat, but he just told me what yum yum was.
Wah, 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 wah.
I mean, if you really want.
too, apparently. I mean, I don't think it matters where it's at.
Well, all righty then.
Well, somebody did it. Somebody left him speechless. After all this time, somebody has left you speechless.
Look at him.
Oh, I love that. You should come on the camera.
So
and
I
take a
want
bow.
to say, don't lose any big fish this year.
Don't lose any big fish. For those
should
of you
come
that
in and
wanted to
take a
know
bow
what
for
that
that.
comment was, it was Yum Yum on the Boat by Ken Pruitt. So for those
Oh,
of you that know
that
Yum
is-
Yum, hey, listen, just depends on how good looking your partner is. I reckon right there.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
that left me a little bit speechless right there. So look at Paul Conan. Paul Conan, not the Yum Yum. There are a few guys out there.
Couples tournament this year.
You're fishing.
No,
You
Yum
need-
Yum.
if you're gonna do Yum Yum, it
Yep.
better be a couples tournament. And I guess it depends on what team you play for.
Couples series.
I love
Oh
it.
my
I
goodness,
absolutely
that was
love it.
listen. That was awesome right there. He did. You didn't know what it was.
No, he told me that. I got to rephrase what I said.
I can't say that.
Oh my goodness! Listen,
You should have
Oh.
seen them over here. They were having like a secret meeting, all leaned over, like, huh? What?
so now you
Oh,
know what
wait.
Yum Yum is, and for those of you in the comment, message me. I'll tell you what it is. I can't say it on air. I cannot
Oh,
say it
love
on
it.
air. So like James knows what it is. He's dying.
Oh yeah,
He's probably crying behind the
Oh.
He
keyboard.
probably fell out of his
Happy New
chair.
Year to you, Surf Dad, like that. So,
oh,
oh,
man, I love this.
oh my, I don't even
so
know.
much.
I-
My face hurts.
It does hurt. My jaw is like I'm sitting there like my jaws, and there's half the people watching like I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh god.
Yeah, you come down here.
So back to
That if
fishing.
you come to the shop, I will tell you what Yum Yum is. Don't bring your wife, okay? So we'll do that, like, or bring her. I don't care, whatever. All right. So yours is
Bring your co-angler.
yeah. Do not listen. If your co-angler is a big burly dude, you don't want a Yum Yum. That's all I'm gonna say. Collins can't breathe. Let me just put it this way. Ben Milliken is not going to Yum Yum with Randy Blockett anytime soon.
No. No.
Oh my goodness, Lord!
No.
No.
You know, that whole thing is
Collins, you
absolutely
okay, buddy?
hilarious. But I think Randy deserves a little criticism. But
he does.
I mean, he's
but
too damn opinionated.
he
Sometimes he's got
is.
good information. Like I said, he helped me with my jerkbait fishing, and and that's cool. But everything he does just seems just negative. Just stop.
The problem with that whole conversation is now it's like at this point it's like, okay, you both said your piece.
Yep.
Let it freaking go.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
and Ben can't let it go. Randy can't let it go. But the problem is that when they do a YouTube video, it drives views.
Yeah.
It drives
What I was going
views.
to say, clickbait.
It drives
Clickbait.
listen,
Yeah.
and both of those guys, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is kind of how YouTube works for a bad channel. You get about $10 per 1,000 views. That's how it works. Now, them guys getting so many views, there gets a little bit more, but your ad revenue is based upon what people will pay, and YouTube has a thing, and we can pull it up on our thing. We get paid a certain ad revenue for a video, a certain ad revenue rate for a short, and a certain ad revenue for a live. So you can just say, and it's more, I'm sure, for them, but just say at $10 a view per 1,000. That's what that. So if you're getting 100,000 views, you're making $1,000. Well, if you're running a channel and you want money, you put out that clickbait stuff.
Yeah.
And so now they're just taking this conversation to the point where it's like, okay, Randy hates forward facing sonar, Ben's for it. Who cares? But as long as people are tuning into that channel and watching that argument, it's a monetary plus for both of them.
Yep.
And that's just how YouTube works.
Yep.
How do you feel about a rattle trap? We got a serious fishing question, which is good. And I'll get to yours, Kevin, here in a second. How do you feel about a rattle trap this time of year? Can't wait to talk to you guys. New Year's. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, Surf Dad. We appreciate it. We're not awesome. We're just like you guys. And this show is only as good as the guests and the people in the comment section. Because trust me, ain't nobody coming to me for fishing advice. Rattle trap, big dog. Huh? You throw a rattle listen, I'm gonna be honest.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't never caught hardly a fish on a rattle trap.
If I'm not grinding a bottom with a rattle trap, I'm not throwing it.
You're
just,
a bottom grinder with it. You don't yo-yo it
and
and
I'm
do all
that
that
way
stuff.
with the crankbait too. I'm not comfortable throwing a crank unless I throw a crankbait over a brush pile.
I need to take you speed cranking.
So,
I
all
need to
right, the
take you
tactical
speed.
bassin guys talk
I
about
need
the
to
speed
take- I
cranking.
need to take you speed
Mhm.
cranking. If you don't feel comfortable,
Burn
with
it.
Your crankbait not hitting the bottom. We need to go.
Oh, listen, I'm ready. Let's go tomorrow.
Okay, so there you go. But I know guys that throw a rattle trap, they'll burn it, they'll run it on the bottom, and a lot of them will yo-yo it.
Yeah.
I just, in the lakes that I fish, and again, let me preface this by saying I don't fish it a lot. But when I do throw it, I don't have a lot of confidence in it. Probably because I don't fish it near enough.
Yeah.
So,
Fish it like a wobblehead. Throw it out there and burn it.
and burn it.
Burn it across the bottom. Let it beat, bang, stop.
Jeremiah guys is going to blaspheme. Listen, it's just I don't throw it a lot. It's not a confidence bait for me. So, what are you doing?
I fish a rattle trap or a lipless 3 different ways, depending on where I'm at.
All right, what
Yeah.
are those?
If I'm fishing grass or something like that, it's a steady wind, just ticking the tops of the grass, ripping it free. But my 2 favorite ways of fishing it is grinding it on bottom, or I will it's more of a yo-yo, but it's reel it up till you feel tension in your line, let it fall on a semi-slack line, and then pull it on the bottom so it stays on the bottom. Make
So you
it
go,
pop up
you go
off
up,
the bottom.
down to the bottom, pull,
Pull.
up, down to the bottom, pull.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's a yo-yo, but it's really
It's a
kind of-
modified yo-yo.
Yeah.
Modified
Yo-yo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Walking
pretty
the
much.
dog like that.
I like it.
Okay, all right.
But what I find with a rattle trap, because they'll come up off the bottom really easy. And you have to just
Pull up Jeremiah's comment because I know this is right at me. It is right at me. Pull that note right there. Lipless crankbaits and a drop shot are God's gift to bass fishing, and you haven't caught anything with the question mark. Now listen.
Well, Jeremiah, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, tell me how you feel, Jeremiah. I think
I
God
agree.
has a sense of humor. If you've ever seen me naked, you would understand. And I don't think that I don't know. Would you say that lipless crankbaits are God's gift to fishing?
I think the little spotty is God's
Oh,
gift,
good
but,
God!
you
You
know, I'm just,
Picasso God, my
no,
Lord.
I'm so
I
sorry,
agree with
but-
Tyler Minks on this. God's children are power fishermen.
That I can listen. But listen. I like to power fish, but I can
Chunking wine.
chunk and wine, but I
yeah.
can finesse. I like to see myself as a Renaissance man when I come to fishing. I can do a little bit of everything. I'm just not good at anything.
No,
Right?
but the rattle trap bite is from now into the 1st of March is great. All you need's maybe 3 different types of rattle traps: an LV 500, a
Lucky Trap.
TN 70 or a TN 50. That's a jackal, and the red eye shad.
the jackal's the one with the little metal on the nose
That's
of it.
the only 3 you need right
What's
now.
up, Mike Oxlund? Like that. So you coming in
The
there?
LV 500 has a sound like no other rattle trap or lipless. The TN 70, you can either get the rattles or the disc. I like the disc more than I like the rattles because it's a little more subtle. And then the red eye shad has a death fall is what I like to call it. As it falls,
Bassmaster Jim.
it wobbles as it falls. It doesn't just fall
Drop shot
straight.
sucks. Yes,
wobbles
sir.
It wobbles as it falls.
100% Bassmaster Jim. The drop shot sucks
Why does everybody hate on the drop shot?
because it's
because
boring.
all
as
it
hell.
catches.
Oh, is that what it is?
You know what? Drop shot.
That ain't the
Listen.
truth.
A
I
drop
know, I
shot. A
can't
drop
catch
shot
it
will
again.
put
Shaky
fish in a
head's not
boat.
boring.
A drop shot will put fish in a boat.
Absolutely.
100%. But I am one of those that I would rather cast a drop shot and pull it back than I would to dingle dangle it over.
I'm
brush.
with you. I honestly, I like fishing a drop shot. You know, when you get into that, sometimes I know a lot of people don't like fishing this kind of grass, but sometimes you get into that slimy grass.
Yes,
That real
snot grass.
sticky snot grass.
Snot grass,
right?
yep.
I have found on Chickamauga, and I don't fish chick very much at all, but I found some good fish in that slime grass. And a drop shot was the only thing I can throw to keep my bait out of that grass
Mhm.
in front of those fish.
Weightless wacky will do it too.
That was
'Cause
what I was getting ready to say.
It will not sink into that snot grass. It'll sit on top.
Sit on
of
top of it.
it, and you can pop it loose.
That is the right answer. The true gift of God
If you
in
say a
fishing
wacky,
is a
wacky
weightless wacky worm.
Yeah, anybody can
You
do
can
it.
catch them anywhere, anytime.
that's why it's not the God's gift.
No, it is God's gift
It's-
because listen, God wanted everybody to be happy, so he gave us the weightless wacky.
He gave you free will.
Free will right there. So,
Yeah.
hey, all right, Kevin, what is your and Kevin Thornton, the best looking guy in all of fishing, is here tonight again with his Publix chicken. What is your 2024 resolution
For fishing.
for fishing? It can be whatever.
For
It can
God's
be
sakes, don't
whatever.
ask him anything else.
Hell yeah, probably a 3-part answer I'm getting ready to get right here.
It's simple. I just want to become more efficient reading my electronics and what I'm looking at.
More efficient reading your electronics and what you're looking at. I think that's a lot of people's, to be honest with you.
Fine.
I know a lot of people have it, but it's those that perfect it. Those have got it dialed down to a science that are consistent. I think the best, and again, I don't care what side you're on. I think bass fishing tournaments on TV with the forward facing is boring to watch. But as a tool in fishing, I think it's perfectly fine and all that. I think it shows the way bass react to things. You learn a lot from it.
Talking about that on the way over here.
Yeah, you learn a lot from it. So I don't think it should be banned, but I think as far as watching it, like if I pull up something on TV and that guy's sitting there doodling with that, it is boring to watch on TV. But as far as fishing, it's an absolute essential, and it's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
There's too much
money in it.
Too much money in it.
Yep.
And now I do think, now listen, this is one thing that I don't know who Randy Blockett's doing it through that thing, but that no sonar tournament. I would say this. I would say for your everyday anglers, your local tournaments, I think it's fine. Use it, learn it, be proficient at it, like Kevin's talking about. It is an awesome tool. But I would like for the elites or whatever to do one tournament a year with no sonar. Just one tournament. Almost kind of like, Major League Baseball players don't get to use aluminum bats.
Mm-hmm.
Pro golfers can't use a cart. Just have one tournament a year where they say, guys, this tournament, we're just going off of how you can fish. You don't get nothing.
No mapping.
Nothing.
Ooh.
That would
Nothing.
be fun. I'd enjoy that.
Wouldn't you like to watch a guy? I don't care.
I'd enjoy getting in a tournament that does that.
Yeah.
That's just the way I like to
and
fish.
again,
I like to turn everything off and go.
Yeah, and it's not a knock on the forward facing sonar because it's
No,
number one,
definitely
it ain't going nowhere, and number two, it doesn't make you catch more fish. I don't care what anybody says. It will help you find fish. It doesn't make them
I started
bite.
catching more fish since I've got
Yeah,
mine.
but you
Just
saw
saying.
you saw more fish.
Mhm.
You saw
Yeah.
fish where you probably wouldn't have thrown.
Exactly.
So that I get. But don't you think one tournament where you just put everybody just say Lanier? I would love the
Can it-
elites to come to
Can
Lake
it be the
Lanier
end
with
of February, beginning of March?
just nothing.
Yeah.
Well, you know why
In the winter.
Yeah.
In
the
the
end of winter,
Yeah,
kind of spring.
yeah.
Can it be that time of year?
Here's why I would find it interesting, because I think let's say you got a field of 100 anglers. What I would find interesting is how many of them, knowing that Lake Lanier's got a deep bite, but knowing it's got a shallow bite, how many of them would go shallow? How many of them would use an old paper map and find a hump and fish? I just think that would be interesting.
Mhm.
Would the weights probably be down? Yeah, maybe.
I think it'd be better if you took them off a lake they didn't know, because you're gonna have guys that go to areas they know it's sitting there and sit down on top of it. Send them somewhere they don't know.
But don't you think it would be interesting?
Oh yeah.
Because here's what I hear. Here's the argument I hear from guys watching fishing. I want to see what the guys do.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that
I don't-
100%. I
don't
want to see
watch
what they do with
fishing-
nothing.
I don't watch fishing to watch the fishing.
You watch it to see what they're
I
doing.
watch what they're doing and how they're throwing it, because there's been a bunch of pros that have said it. The only difference between a weekend guy and a pro is casting.
Really?
They can cast so much better than what just your average guy can. They can put it places others can't, and they know what they can get it out of places others can't.
Right.
I've heard pro after pro, the classic says,
Yep.
a lot of the times what separates a pro from a weekend guy that's a good guy, that's a stick,
Mm-hmm.
is the casting
That
and
makes
being
sense.
more efficient with their casts.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think back to the days of Bill Dance and Roland Martin and them catching fish with a 6'6" rod, pistol grip rod and stuff like that.
Oh, the old
Those
pistol
days
grip.
are gone.
Yeah.
But we do enjoy it. The reason you watch, like you'll watch let's take travel baseball for kids. Occasionally, you'll see them in a wood bat tournament. They put them in that wood bat tournament because it's harder to hit. You don't make, kids, it takes a little bit out of the swing. I just think it would be interesting if they had a tournament with no sonar. I don't want it banned.
Yeah.
I don't want it banned because there's a place for that. And again, there's too much money involved. But just to see how guys would break down a lake. Like if you had a 10 tournament schedule, just one tournament, no sonar, boys. Here's your paper map. Have at it. And just see.
Would you like to see it on a lake like Neely Henry, or would you like to see it on like Sinclair or the St. Lawrence River?
For me,
a lake where it's going to be more, where you're forced to use forwards facing sonar, because I don't think in a tournament like Neely Henry, you're going to use it, but you're not forced to use it.
So take Lanier. Let's just take Lanier because it
Okay.
is the beast that drives the engine here in North Georgia. We all know that if you had that tournament during the spring, guys are going to be looking for largemouth, shallow. Put it on a lake that has both a shallow bite and a deep bite
Okay.
in a non-spawning time. Non-spawning time. And it would be interesting to see how the Ben Millikens of the world, and I'm not saying they might can catch 30 pounds in a day. And I'm sure a lot of guys that fished Lanier a long time ago, because I saw the conversation on Facebook, a lot of guys were saying the guys from back in the day could still catch 19, 20 pounds, and maybe they could. How many of these guys that are currently catching 20, 19, 18 pounds, how many of those could do it without it? I do think that number would drop.
Oh yeah.
I do think that number would drop.
Yeah.
But again, it's just kind of like a one-off tournament, not your whole season. Randy Blockett goes a little bit overboard with that. He calls it spotlighting deer. I don't think it's spotlighting deer. You spotlight a deer, he's froze. You can shoot him because you're blinding his eyes with light. He's not going to be able to move. He is froze. Trust me, Danny knows from back in the day when he was a hellion. That's pre-Jesus, Danny. But I don't think forward-facing sonar does that. Forward-facing sonar does not blind a fish to where you can just.
Well, they're starting to get used to it. If you hit them with the sonar now, they move off.
I think, see, like what J Bunk, I can't even pronounce that shit. J Bunk Tiger, right there. Do it in the classic. So fish all you want. Fish all you want.
Ooh,
Or
that would be tough.
Or how about this? How about the final day? Use forward-facing sonar the first 3 days to get to the whatever it is. What do they break? What is the final day on most of those? Is it the top 10, 20? What
Top
goes?
25.
25, right?
Okay, so top 25, the last day of the classic. No sonar.
Well, I mean, honestly, if there's one day to do it, that would be the day to do it, because now you've had this is your third or fourth day.
Gives
of
them enough
tournament
day.
fishing. They already
Lets
know
them
where
find.
to go.
You also usually on your third day you burnt through your best holes anyway, so you're on hunt mode again anyway.
Yeah.
I hate 3-day tournaments because I'm not used to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I went up to Hartwell. I'll tell myself I went up to Hartwell during the ABA Nationals, got my teeth kicked in. Fish were out over suspended. They were suspended over. That's how Alex Prince, our boy Alex Prince, that does so well on all of these tournaments around here, actually won the ABA Nationals, won a boat, all that. He found them suspended over standing timber, was catching largemouth with like he was on Lanier in 50, 60 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting up there fall fishing, going in the backs of creeks, looking for bait back in there and get my teeth kicked in.
Do you think I often ask this question too, with the generation coming up, the high school anglers, that's all they've known now is forward facing sonar. Do you think that's a detriment to those kids?
I mean,
How would they fare if they went into a tournament with no sonar?
I don't think they'd fare very well. I mean, I think you still have your really good high school fishermen that are still going to catch them. But I think you're going to have the mid-level high schoolers that do well because they have forward-facing sonar. You take that away, and that's all they know. They're not going to do as good. They're
Your
gonna
elite
drop down.
anglers are going to do well no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
You've seen it in your tournaments. I'm sure y'all have seen it in y'all's tournaments. I've seen it in the tournaments I fish. Your average guy got better when they got forward facing sonar. The guys that were always averaging the highest of maybe 10th place, now they're bumping the 4th,
Mhm.
3rd, seconds
Yeah.
because they have that forward facing sonar, seeing fish they can throw to instead of fishing dead water. No, you were already in the upper echelon before you got it. Don't start that.
I'm telling you, man, forward facing sonar has changed everything for me.
There's a new
It has. It has. I
there's a
get
New
that.
Year's resolution for me.
What's that?
Win an ABA.
Win an ABA. Okay, I got that. How about this
Right
question?
around the corner. For you.
How about this question,
Right
Sal?
around the
I've got 13 second places. And when I fished
He is
that thing,
Mr. Second Place.
I fished 3 years with the ABA. I've got 13 second places. I've yet to break a first.
But you know what? That's consistency, though. Don't knock yourself short. That's consistency. How about this question right here, Sal? How often do you rely on forward-facing sonar versus intuitive angling?
Well, he threw that intuitive.
It's a good question. I'm gonna you still got to pick those spots out, so intuitively I've got to still go to that spot that feels right.
Right.
Okay. When I get there, I use the forward facing sonar.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to ban it. No, I'm not. And again, I am definitely not talking about banning it. I just find it would be interesting
I agree.
from a viewer standpoint of watching it. I just think it would be interesting just to see how these guys would fare on an off lake that nobody's fished, which would be tough because, you can't pick a southern lake because the northern guys would raise Cain about the southern guys getting to fish it. But I just think it would be interesting. But definitely don't ban it. You can't take it out of fishing.
Nah.
It's there. It's there to stay.
Everybody has a game plan.
Yeah, you have a game plan.
You gotta have
But I do know a lot of guys on Lanier will go up to a brush pile, drop their trolling motor, scan, nope, pull a trolling motor and go. Whereas before they were like, I know a brush pile's here, I'm gonna fish it. So instead of being able to hit, say, 80 spots in a tournament, you're only hitting 30.
Mhm.
That might change the game a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. So I disagree with Randy on banning it, but I just think, and I'm being selfish from a viewer standpoint, I would like to see you guys what you would do in a non-spawn tournament. We all know what they're going to do in a spawn because
Yeah,
that's visually
everybody's gonna
sight
show.
fishing. And so I just think that would be interesting. What's your New Year's resolution?
learn my boat and sonar.
Learn your boat and sonar. So we got 2 on sonar and stuff like that. That's you need to go with Kevin Underwood. You need to get out with a guy that knows it. That's a big thing. Plus, for the amount of money you spend on it, you might as well know it.
Yeah.
But
It's a waste
I
of
find
money
it
if you don't.
interesting. You said learn my boat.
Every
Yeah.
boat different.
Every boat
floats
is different. Every boat floats
I don't
different.
care what you say. I mean, my 18-footer can get in places a 20-footer can't.
Yep, that's
so
true.
if you don't know your 20-footer and you get it back in a spot, you're going to sit there 15 minutes trying to get it back out.
Yep.
Instead of me just being able to go in between a dock and be 19 foot across and
Right.
be able to whoop her right back around and come back out.
I agree with that.
But I have something on the forward facing sonar, and it's just my opinion, and I'm more on the Ben side of it.
Mhm.
Forward facing sonar does not make you a better fisherman.
Okay.
You still have to hook the fish, you still have to land the fish, but you're also, if you don't know where they're at that certain time of year, you're not going to be able to see them with forward facing sonar anyway. If you go in the back of a bay in the middle of winter when they're out there in 20, 30 foot and you're scanning around in 2 foot looking for one, you're not going to find them.
I get that.
Or if you go sit out, yeah, you might see some schoolers and you want to chase that school around.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't got that school to fire and the first 2 times you hit them, you better leave. You better not chase them.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Bassmaster Jim's got a question for you. We're getting up on 2 hours, so we're going to need to end it here in a little bit. But this question here, Sal, do you like to focus on Funnel Ridge Creek bottoms in the winter?
What's a Funnel Ridge Creek bottom?
I would say you got to, just going by the question, sounds like 2 big kind of slopes that funnel into something.
Ditch.
I would say kind of a ditch.
I do.
Bassmaster Jim, so in the South, and again, I don't know where you're from, and so please don't take this. We call it ditch fishing when we're doing like creek channels, those kind of things. So if that's what you're talking about right there, just let us know real quick, and we'll get Sal to answer that question. A new exciting term for ditch, Funnel Ridge Creek bottoms, and that might be it.
All it is the existing creek bottoms and dry, or what do you call the ridges in the mountains or the hills before the lake was filled. So when they fill the lake up, it's the pre-existing creeks that ran down. It's the ridges or the cuts going
Okay.
up ridges. That's all a ditch is.
That's
That's what we call a ditch. It's
Okay.
not an actual ditch going down the side of a highway. It's if you look on a mountain and you can see the
two
So the
ridges
creek-
coming
two
down.
ridges down and they meet.
Yeah.
So it's
those
like a
two
natural
ridges, those two
formation.
ridges are a ditch. The very center fulcrum
Is the funnel.
is the ditch.
Yes,
Okay.
funnel. That might be what he's talking about. But
Okay.
so let's just say that. Well, how do you
I
approach
mean,
that?
so if I'm looking at something like that, I'm going to look for the niche spots in those areas, because I feel like, when you are fishing that ditch, there may be something that you see that's so subtle on your graph.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go to that little subtleness, that little, those lines are a little bit closer together, a little bit more of a steeper drop. When you get to that spot, you may see that there is rock there. There is a
Mhm.
sharp edge there. There's just that. And again, I call it a niche spot because it's just something different in that general area that will just attract the fish. Like that, you may have that creek channel or that funnel channel
Right,
that
James.
just doesn't really have much to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it has like a little, there's still going to be little bends to it, and if I can find that rock or just that subtlety in that area, that's the kind of stuff that I like to hit.
Okay.
It's not just that actual ditch or that funnel creek channel or what have you. I'm going to look for the detailed areas in those areas for me to focus on.
Okay, I
think
got you. That's a good answer.
Every ditch drain has a sweet spot, like he says.
There's
Yeah,
a
that's-
sweet
That's
spot.
the word.
And I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Oh
And
Lord,
I
here we go.
Drum roll.
look for a pinch point.
Mm-hmm.
If you see in that ditch where it comes closer together, the closest it can come together, that's where them fish are going to be sitting.
In a pinch point,
In a pinch point where it comes down to where it
most
gets
narrow kind of
the
section.
most narrow section,
Right.
and then flattens back out. The bait and the fish are going to be sitting in that pinch point, in that where it gets narrow.
Okay.
Bridges. A lot of people look over bridges in the wintertime for ditch fishing. That deep water fishing, where it comes down to where it's as wide as two trucks sitting there.
Mhm.
That is a good
All
point.
that bait, everything's sitting right there.
That is a good point because bridges
Because
are
they
often
can-
overlooked.
because they can move up and down quickly.
Makes a good.
And
makes-
it's usually
makes
a
sense.
harder bottom in those areas.
It's a harder
too.
bottom.
Yep.
Makes good sense.
Yep.
I'll tell you what our and this is as a company resolution is in 2024. You guys over the next few weeks are going to see some changes with our Fish North Georgia social media, where we're going to be encompassing not just fishing, but we are going to have an overall brand change where we're going to get into the hunting and more of the outdoor stuff as well. So we're going to broaden our horizons, and that's based off the success of our TV show that a lot of people have complimented us on. You're going to get to see some things. We're going to incorporate some cooking, some outdoor stuff. So there's going to be some changes in 2024. So our resolution in 2024 is to grow the brand and to bring you. We'll always have the live well here. We're always going to have Fish North Georgia, but you're going to start seeing a lot more, including we are going to go turkey hunting. Trust me, I was supposed to go film squirrel hunting this past week, but the weather wasn't good. You're going to see a lot more of that. And so we got a lot of good things coming, including, and I am not going to, some different podcasts with actually a couple different hosts that you're going to start seeing on the Fish North Georgia and our brand. And I ain't ready to drop the name yet. You're going to see a lot of that stuff. I will come on for some cooking. Hey, listen, absolutely. You guys are going to see that. It's going to be a pretty cool year. So with that, we're a little over 2 hours in. So guys, first of all, I want to thank my guest, Sal. It's always a great time for you coming up here.
Man,
I enjoy when you come up here.
It is such an honor and a blessing.
Don't say honor. Honor's a big word, but
It
it's an
really
honor to
is,
have
man.
you here.
I mean, really is, because this fishing community is special.
yeah.
It really is in this area, and you guys help kind of pull it all together.
Well, we try.
And
We try.
so I appreciate the opportunity. You know, I just it's always a fun
We have a good
journey
time.
for 2 hours.
We
Yeah,
have
it
a
really
good
is.
time with
It's a blast.
Again, it's only as good as our people watching.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our guests and our people watching. So that's good. And then, of course, Farmer, you're always up here. We always appreciate having you on like that. And
I
Tim, you
just
did
came to listen to Sal talk.
I know,
so
and I
could
just
learn
threw you
something.
on there, and you guys, Tim running the board tonight, and basically you're up here, and Kevin's always up here, and all you guys in the gallery and all that. And again, listen, if you're ever in the area on a Thursday night that we're doing the show, you're welcome to come by the shop, get here about 6:30, and enjoy the festivities beforehand, and have fun, and come down here and watch the show and comment and all that. But 2024 is going to be a big year from us, and we're not going to be able to do it without you guys. So listen, first of all, want to wish I hope your holidays, hope your Christmas was great. The New Year's, listen, you guys, if you go out this weekend, first of all, be safe. We all like to enjoy an adult beverage and all that, but if you get out there and you have some fun, call somebody to take you home. I definitely don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing about somebody that we knew in the comments or people that we know that are either getting in trouble or have an accident on New Year's Eve. So be safe with that, but enjoy yourself. And then 2024 is going to be a great year. If you're going out fishing this weekend, it's going to be cold. Dress appropriately, as Sal says. Got the wind coming up. But again, I want to thank you personally for making 2023 on the Live Well. It's fun every Thursday night just to be able to sit down, talk with great guys, and listen to you guys in the comment section. And I know there's a lot of podcasts out there that you can listen to, but there's something special about this one because of you guys out there. So you guys make the show, and we actually appreciate you a whole lot more than you know. I mean, it makes everything. So definitely have it. Hey, we're going to kick some butt in 2024, but you guys go out and have a good time this weekend. Be safe. We'll talk about some college football maybe next week because there's a lot of good games on Saturday. It's going to be fun, but hey, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next Live Well. Be safe.